shop has hundreds of frames, including the exciting exclusive lines of Woo, Roger, and LA Works, and the State brand made right here in the USA. Your lenses? Kent and Roxy take seriously the quality and precision of your corrected eyesight. Be independent, take a bold step for optical freedom. Come see the difference for yourself. Visit Kent and Roxy Spectacle Shop, 306 North Rock Road, Wichita.
Don't let the season of cheer become the season of scams. Here are a few tips to stay safe from fraud this holiday season from the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Stick to well-known websites when shopping online. Be wary of too good to be true discounts. Use credit, not debit cards. You'll be liable for fewer charges if the card is compromised by a scammer. And make sure your holiday donations go to a real charity. Visit aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork to learn more.
This is a Steckline Communication Station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Phil's Coins, Kansas's largest coin dealer at 9344 West Central. Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading with honesty and integrity.
Good Wednesday. A woman in critical condition after a rollover accident in northwest Sedgwick County. At around 3:15 yesterday afternoon, sheriff's officers say an 18-year-old female traveling with her 10-month-old boy in an SUV rolled her vehicle near the intersection of 279th Street West and 85th Street North. Cake TV reports it's believed that she was attempting to pass another vehicle and overcorrected. The mother was transported in critical condition, and authorities say her baby had only minor injuries reported. No names were immediately released. Wichita Fire Department says smoke detectors inside a home near 13th and West Streets likely saved the lives of 3 people inside that home early Christmas Eve. Fire officials say arriving crews at the scene about 6 o'clock Monday morning saw heavy smoke and flames coming from the home. Fire officials say the damage inside the home was extensive. The cause still under investigation. The Red Cross was working to accommodate those who were displaced by the fire. I'm Rick Everett from the news desk. Now with sports, here's Doug Downs.
In the last 2 games, the Kansas City Chiefs have had the opportunity to get it done, win the AFC, and get the top seed out of the AFC, but they have failed to do so with back-to-back losses for the first time this season. Now, Sunday, the Chiefs have their final shot against the Oakland Raiders, a team that's playing much better. Coach Andy Reid says the margin for error in the NFL is very slim.
In this league, it's that close, the margin between winning and losing. So we just got to straighten a couple things out, and then we'll be okay.
The Chiefs will get back to the practice field today. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
The end of 2018 will be here before you know it. What are you wearing? Life gets away from us sometimes, like the annual eye exam that your insurance company all but pays for. Waring and Fiegel Optometry at 21st and Tyler is a full-scope professional optometry practice. At Waring and Fiegel Optometry, new patients are welcome. Don't let the benefits of your insurance, let alone the benefits of healthy vision, get away from you. Waring and Fiegel Optometry, 21st and Tyler.
Can you believe the year is almost over? Mike here at Rusty Eck Ford. Year-end for us is a big sale for you, and nobody does a year-end sale better than us. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud of this sale. Check this out. Pick out your new Ford and make no payments till 2020. That's right. You drive it for a year, no payments. Get a new F-150 Rusty Eck Ford truck with no payments till 2020. A new car, no payments for a year. A new SUV, it's 2020 before a payment is due. But the sale ends on 12/31. Hey, you can have a happy new car and make no payments for a year. Come see us today for the year-end sale before the year ends. Only at Rusty Eck Ford in Wichita. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud. Dealer retains rebates, Ford credit, interest accrued from date of sale. All negative equity paid in full. Max payment assistance up to $500 cannot be combined with any other offers.
Don't miss more ways to save on a new Bobcat compact track loader at White Star Machinery. Choose a cash rebate up to $10,000 or take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months with no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Put built tough, priced right Bobcat equipment to work and get peace of mind with our 2-year, $2,000 full warranty. Why wait? Start saving today. Check it out on our website, whitestarmachinery.com.
White Star, get the job done. Plan ahead for a comfortable and safe winter by contacting Propane Central today. They'll conduct a free comprehensive check of your gas system and fill your tank and set you up with the payment and delivery options that meet your needs. Experience worry-free propane only from Propane Central. Give them a call at 316-744-6722. Again, that's 316-744-6722, or visit their website at propanecentral.com. Propane Central, the best value in propane.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM.
Russia has run what is described as a successful test of a new Russian hypersonic missile system called Avangard, which can carry nuclear and conventional warheads. Russian President Vladimir Putin has boasted the new missiles could hit almost any point in the world and evade a U.S.-built missile shield. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it is conducting new medical checks on every child in its custody after the second reported death of a minor this month. Asian stocks closed mixed in Wednesday trading, and on Wall Street, Tom Busby tells us investors are worried about today.
Good morning, Michael. It's day 5 of that partial government shutdown. There's no end in sight either. And it's back to work on Wall Street, but a lot of investors may not want to come back to work. That's because stocks suffered the worst Christmas Eve trading day ever on Monday. The Dow tumbling 650 points, the Nasdaq down 140. The market's on track for the worst December since the Great Depression.
Thanks, Tom. Pre-market trading now reversing earlier losses and now showing some gains across the boards on Wall Street. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM, brought to you by Jewelry Savers. Conveniently located off K96 on Greenwich Road. The Kansas trusted jewelry source since 1971. Jewelry Savers.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 6:06, it's currently 50 degrees.
Live every night, it's the Jim Bohannon Show, here on the Big Talker, KQAM. It's time for Reason.
The funding for the state government in 1995 was right around $3 billion. Now it's just over 5. Spending is up around 7. If we've gone up, close to about $2 billion higher above what inflation would be if we would have gone at the rate of inflation. And 60% of our budget is educational funding. That education funding is actually way higher than what inflation is as well.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Another great day. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. We made it through, baby. We made it through the holiday. We made it through Christmas. Welcome in. It is a post-Christmas Wednesday, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM, rocking it on TV as well, KGPT TV channel 2610, rocking it on YouTube Live. We are on social media, youtube.com, find KQAM Radio. You can watch us, subscribe to it, watch the podcast, send us a message, whatever you want to do. You're more than welcome to here on a Wednesday. I know it's a Wednesday, but hey, you know what? It is after the holiday. I know it's a little difficult to get back into the groove of things if you have to work today. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, let's get you pumped up, ready to go for the day. What do you say? Come on.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
This is probably my favorite entire week of the entire year because this feels like a Monday, and then in 2 days it's a Friday, and then we get to do a holiday all over again. I kind of think it's kind of a great week. What do you think? 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. I'd love to hear from you. What's on your mind today? We have a lot to get to between news over the holiday. Of course, they always try and sneak funny things into the political world during the holidays, so we'll cover some of this. The holidays and Christmas time is a very interesting time as well, as people, get a little antsy and feel a little bit angry. They try and change the way that the holiday's supposed to actually be represented, which is cool. You know, you can do whatever you want to. I don't really care. Just don't change it for me, and I'm going to celebrate my holidays the way that I want to. I know the media still tries to go after President Donald Trump for every little thing, including, I don't even know how this is a story. Doesn't make any sense to me why they would even run a story like this, but according to Cake TV, as they share a story from the Associated Press, that a 7-year-old girl who was talking to President Donald Trump on Christmas Eve still left out milk and cookies for Santa, despite the president telling her that it was marginal for a child of her age to still believe in the jolly old elf. So apparently Donald Trump said that it was marginal, that she's, that age, and she still believes in Santa Claus. He is killing the dreams of 7-year-old girls. Yeah. I don't know how this is a story. Now, Donald Trump came out with a very wonderful message during Christmas. By the way, him and Melania Trump together made a video. I don't remember President Barack Obama and Michelle doing this. Maybe they did. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm saying I don't remember it if they did. But Donald Trump came out with a message on Christmas along with Melania Trump saying this.
Melania and I are truly thrilled to wish every American a very Merry Christmas.
During the Christmas season, we rejoice in God's many blessings. We come together with family and friends to spread hope, love, compassion, cheer, and goodwill. And we remember the events of one holy night more than 2,000 years ago.
At this time of year, Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. This wonderful season brings out the best in the American spirit. And we see neighbors helping neighbors and communities lifting up those who need a helping hand. We see citizens laying wreaths at the graves of our fallen heroes. We see children bringing joy to our senior citizens. And we see Americans of all ages caring for people in need. We reflect on the splendor of God's creation and the sacred ties that bind us all together.
This Christmas, we salute the brave men and women who serve our nation overseas. We send our love to the military families whose sacrifice helps keep our nation free. We give thanks to the law enforcement officers who protect our communities. And we pray for a future of peace on earth.
On behalf of the entire Trump family, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very, very Happy New Year.
All right, that's a beautiful message there. President Donald Trump, Melania Trump on Christmas, sending out a message to the soldiers, sending out a message to everybody in the country, saying that this is a nation of God, a very religious, very nice, very sentimental message from the President of the United States. I love it. It's wonderful. It's great. Now, again, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama may have done something similar like that. I don't remember it. But this is a very wonderful, uniting type of message that the President of the United States can have. So we have that on the other side, the media saying, oh, look at this. We're going to take a shot at Trump for no reason. It's stupid. For no apparent reason, just to say that we did by saying that he told a 7-year-old not to believe in Santa Claus, and yet she still left out the cookies and milk, meaning that even the 7-year-olds are beginning to rebel against Donald Trump because even 7-year-olds can cut through the BS and see through Donald Trump. That's what we're up against now. That's how crazy this actually is. Welcome in. 316-721-8255. Not to start you off on a very a negative note. At the same time, it's stupid. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Mine was absolutely fantastic. It was such a great day yesterday. I'm always curious to see what time the little ones are going to sleep till to wake you up and say, oh my gosh, Santa Claus is here. Now, Christmas Eve, we did do the show here, which I had a lot of fun with, and it's always a great episode. A great show that we love to do with all the audio bits and skits and all the good stuff. And went home, got to enjoy. Mrs. Voice of Reason made the most absolute amazing Christmas dinner of all time. And it was just us with the family. And we just sat down and just had a good time. Took a nap in the afternoon, which was, I tell you what, it is the best day when you can work and talk politics in the morning, have some fun, go home, have a crazy awesome dinner, take a nap, wake up, watch Christmas movies, and then get ready for Christmas Day. I mean, that's a day right there. That's what I'm kind of talking about. And we did do the annual reading of the Redneck Night Before Christmas. I read that to Little Voice of Reason on Christmas Eve. And we watched Die Hard. We watched Die Hard that night. It was an amazing movie. It really brought in the Christmas spirit. And I tell you what, my wife got mad at me. She got mad because about every 10 minutes, she's like, Andy, you already said that. Because they would sing Christmas music. They would sing Christmas songs, and I would be like, oh, look at this. And they say it's not a Christmas movie. That's funny. Because every couple of minutes, they were playing or referencing a Christmas song or a Christmas reference in Die Hard. If you don't remember that, then go watch it again. So we watched that night, and I was curious. I'm like, all right, is this going to be like a 4 or 5 a.m. type of wake-up call from Little Voice of Reason when she realizes that Santa Claus was there? We did set out the milk and cookies. I told Isla that I would be generous and I would be willing to donate one of Dada's juices, a.k.a. a beer, that I would donate a beer to the cause of Santa because he gets milk in every other home. So if he wanted something different, he could have a beer, and that way Santa Claus would have a little refresher, just a little refreshing time instead of the average milk and cookies. And she thought about it. She thought about being able to. I said, Dad, we'll donate one if you want. And she thought about it, and she's like, no, you know what? Let's go with the milk. So, all right. So we did the milk and cookies, and, of course, left a little note saying, thanks, Santa Claus, and here's your milk and cookies, and all that good jazz. Did that, got her to bed, and no, she actually slept until about 7:15. Kind of nice. We got up, did the presents thing. It was great. Got to watch some Christmas movies, got to enjoy. She had more toys than I think she knew what to do with, and it was a great time. So appreciate it. Hope everybody had a great Merry Christmas as well, and got to celebrate the way that you like to celebrate, going to church and opening the gifts and visiting with the family and friends and remembering the true reason of the season. I saw a billboard of atheists saying make Christmas great again by trying to boycott going to church. Don't go to church then. I don't really care. The fact that they wasted money on something like that is comical because they obviously just like to throw money around, but they made a billboard saying make Christmas great again, don't go to church. So, whatever. Do your thing. Most people went to church. Most people remember the religious message of the actual holiday, and that's what we celebrated. That's what we did. So it was great. We did sing Happy Birthday to Jesus many times, and as Isla loves to sing the Christmas song, or the birthday song, and she realized that it is Jesus' birthday, and that's why we get, and that's how we did it. That's why we get gifts, is because it is his birthday, and it's a birthday celebration. So one of the toys she got was actually a karaoke machine from Grandma and Grandpa, and she would sing, and she would get on there, and she would sing with the big loudspeaker. She would sing Happy Birthday to Jesus, and then she would go and play with her other toys, and then 20 minutes later, she would come back and sing it again, and then go back and play with some of her toys, and then come back and then sing it again. All day long, she sang Happy Birthday on her new karaoke little microphone thing. So she really enjoyed it, and she got her play's worth out of it already. So, hooray. 316-721-8255. Hopefully you had a wonderful, great, amazing Christmas. It's going to be a fun day today. We have Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim Howell coming on the show at 7:30 in just over an hour from now. Not talking about really county issues because they do not have a county commission meeting today, but we will have some fun talking about the holidays and getting ready for 2019. Can you believe it? We are a week away from the 2019 year. It's going to be a crazy year. We're going to try, if he's going to be in office today as well, we'll try and get Greg Steckline, owner of Steckline Communications, in studio at 8 o'clock to give us kind of a recap of how this year went and some of the cool stuff we get to look forward to at the radio station KQAM with the Voice of Reason. All that good jazz coming up in the new year as well. Let's take a break. 18 minutes past the hour. We have a lot to get to. We have the stock market that the media is panicky about. We have the government shutdown. We have the bump stock ban. Laura Kelly coming out making some comments as well. We have a new audit going on in the state of Kansas. It's a crazy time, and it's not even the legislative session yet. So we'll cover all that and more right here on the show, plus your phone calls as well. We want to hear from you. This is The Voice of Reason on a Wednesday post-Christmas. Good morning to you. Let's get it going.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. Merry Christmas. Ag News brought to you by Kubota and your Kansas Kubota dealers. See them today. Well, after many years of Colorado State Commissioners of Agriculture requesting that the CDA labs be moved closer to the CDA head building, the request was granted and celebrated with a ribbon cutting last week. The CDA laboratory building is almost ready for business. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper gave comments at the event.
I want to thank all of you here that support the agricultural community. Especially want to thank the commissioners. The work you've done is so powerful, and you know it's a united effort. I think last year we were the 4th strongest agricultural. If you take your rural counties, but the 4th or 5th strongest rural economy. I think this year, because we don't have any soybeans, we'll probably be 2nd or 3rd or maybe even 1st. But it's largely because these guys have built such a strong foundation and such a strong tradition of everybody working together.
In other news, the Agricultural Broadband Coalition welcomes the Precision Agriculture Connectivity Act included in the just-signed 2018 Farm Bill. Coalition co-chair Nick Tyndall says, quote, U.S. farmers and ranchers are deploying more and more data-driven technologies and solutions in their operation, and their need for reliable broadband connections in the field is intensifying. This important provision highlights this need to expand broadband services, including mobile coverage, to U.S. croplands and ranch lands, end quote. Zippy Duvall, president of the American Farm Bureau, says bringing together the USDA, the Federal Communications Commission, along with public and private stakeholders to address the needs of precision agriculture ensures current and future generations of farmers and ranchers will have the necessary connectivity to achieve their goals, expanding broadband into rural areas across the country. Ag News brought to you by Kubota and your Kansas Kubota dealers on the Mid-America Ag Network.
You need to stay in the know all day long, and the Big Talker KQAM can help. Just visit us online at kqamradio.com. Stay up to date on show lineups, station promotions, and upcoming events, local news, and much more. Have an event coming up you'd like us to help promote for you? Shoot us the information at kqamradio.com. Plus, get information on our local shows, show guest lineups, online streaming, and even our Facebook feed all right there. When it comes to news and politics, you need to stay in the know. That's when we come in. kqamradio.com. Check it out today.
At Starseed, we're dedicated to providing our customers premium quality products and the sudden service they deserve. We've offered a diverse lineup of high-yielding seed for decades. We pride ourselves on flexibility, promptness, and superior products. Starseed is the one stop for all of your seed needs. Don't forget to ask about our custom blend packages. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
If you're active military, a veteran, or part of our law enforcement community, bring in your active or inactive military ID or an active law enforcement ID to any Riverside Cafe location. Buy 2 meals and a drink and get the second meal of equal or lesser value for free. Again, for any military vets or law enforcement, buy 1 meal and 2 drinks and get the second meal at no charge. Riverside Cafe.
Riverside Cafe, with all 3 locations serving all-day breakfast. In Wichita at 9125 West Central, 13th in Bidding, and in Derby at 824 North Baltimore. A DUI can literally stop a person and their vehicle in its tracks. If you know someone who's gotten a nudge from the judge and their vehicle can't budge without an ignition interlock device, the next right move is Just Right Auto Repair. Just Right Auto Repair at 4312 West Central is Wichita's Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist. Intoxilock is the preferred device of choice among customers and monitoring authorities. Make your vehicle just right in the Quartz site. Just Right Auto Repair, your Intoxilock Ignition Interlock Installation Specialist.
We're taking up to $14,000 off a new Ford F-150. That's Rusty X Ford proud.
2 things that keep customers coming back and referring their friends to Lee Reed Engraving are superior quality and unparalleled customer service. The time to recognize team members through annual awards or employee contributions this year is right around the corner. Lee Reed Engraving specializes in the personalization of awards and recognition items for businesses, schools, churches, and professional organizations of all types. You can learn more at LeeReedEngraving.com. Lee Reed Engraving, 3417 West Central.
Your home for the Dana Show is the Big Talker KQAM and KQAMradio.com.
23 minutes past the hour. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Happy Wednesday morning to you. A post-Christmas. This is kind of the week where you coast. You kind of coast, come back into work, get a few things done that you need to, and then get ready for another holiday and extended weekend. Hopefully for you, as you get to, hopefully again, get off Monday for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day on Christmas, and then we can officially start. Then you can kind of coast next week as well until you start off a brand new week. See, you really have 2 weeks of a holiday here because, hey, you get some stuff done, but at the same time, got to get back into the mojo on a Monday. And if the Monday's a holiday, then, you know what? Hey, just kind of write off the whole week. At least some can feel that way. Welcome in, 316-721-8255. So the media is having a heyday when it comes to the stock market, and everybody panicky about the stock market. Now, we need to remind you, the stock market has very little to do with the actual economy, the GDP growth, the people that are working, what unemployment rates look like, and how the economy is actually doing. The stock market has some tell on there, but at the same time, it's kind of its own little entity. Now, I know we're probably going to get a call from some kind of progressive that says, oh, wait a second, you were hyping up how great the stock market was doing when Donald Trump first got into office and what he was doing to make it great and yada, yada, yada. And it was true. It was doing very well. It was shattering records day in and day out. It was going up and up and up. At the same time, there was the offset of the bubble that Barack Obama had created from the years prior when it came to the economy and the stock market and the inclusion of the government in some of these. And as we go the other direction, we're going to see it go up because of people that were investing and people had more money and people were doing well and the outlook of what it was going to look like. At the same time, though, we have corrections. And after you have some bubbles, it's kind of like, and I've used this metaphor before, it's kind of like bleeding your brakes. You use your brakes and use your brakes and use your brakes, and then you kind of inject other things into the brake lines, which you're not supposed to do, and then you get bubbles. And the bubbles create issues with your brakes, and you have to bleed them in order to get the little bubbles of air out of the tubes of the brake lines. And that way it runs efficiently. The same thing is with the stock market. It will go up and it will go down and it will offset and it will correct itself when there are issues, when there's outside inclusion. And I don't know if you're aware or not, but the government gets involved with the economy a little bit more than what it probably should, which causes bubbles. It causes issues in the stock market. The headline from CNBC right now, stocks may try to bounce but are heading for the worst December ever. And they said it was the worst December so far since really the Great Depression in the 1930s. And everybody's all panicky about this. It's going to be okay. The biggest issue with the stock market right now is the tech industry because people are starting to question, wait a second, maybe I shouldn't get that government-run Alexa or whatever in my home that's going to record everything that I'm saying. Maybe I shouldn't buy a $1,200 cell phone and then put it on to where I make monthly payments on it with my cell phone bill every month so I can continuously stay in debt because it's a phone that really does nothing more than get you on the internet and you can play some apps and you can make phone calls and send text messages. That's all you need to do. I don't need a $1,000 phone. I just got a couple weeks ago, got a brand new phone. I got away from the whole iPhone thing because I'm sick and tired of the iPhone. I got an Android again, or a Samsung. And I love it. I'm getting transitioned back again. By the way, I do have a new number, so people that have my number, I have to get you new numbers because I'm officially a Wichitan now with a 316 number. Yeah, it's only taken me 3 years. Still had a Denver number, but nonetheless, it's still there. So, but I did the transition. And guess what? I got a cheap phone that was like $100. And it was a deal where I actually got the phone for free. But I did not spend $8,000 on a phone because that is useless. That is worthless. And by the way, iPhone, I'm sorry to tell you, but I will not buy a product where you think that you can get rid of the convenient things on the phone and still charge outrageous rates. And people just think that because you've used the phone so long that you're just going to stick with that brand. Not going to fly. That's why the tech industry is going down. That's why the stock market's struggling right now. We get through that, and the businesses realize that the consumer needs certain things like, I don't know, headphone jacks, iPhone, hint, hint, wink, wink. Maybe if you actually put a headphone jack on there and you made it easy to use, rather than saying either you have to get a Bluetooth headset or you have to get a $20 adapter to plug in a headphone. Give me a break. But you're really going to love the quality of the picture taking. I don't care. I don't use the picture taking very much. That's the kind of stuff saying we're going to make it very inaccessible for you. You're going to have to buy a whole lot of accessories, a whole lot of adapters, and then you're still going to love the phone because it's going to be really great quality. This is why the stock market is struggling right now. Not to mention the government's still injecting and still affecting it because the government's not supposed to be involved in the private sector. In the laissez-faire, capitalist, free market society that we're supposed to have, the government's not supposed to be involved in that. Now, all of this if you hear the media that we're in another Great Depression, that people are going to be suffering, we're going to see people jumping out of buildings because then they're going to lose all their wealth and all their investments and all this other garbage. And I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if you're aware or not. Maybe you've seen it. I haven't seen it. And yet, on the other front, the economy itself is actually doing very well. We still have crazy low unemployment rates. People are working. This is a totally different scenario than the Great Depression, but they're going to try and pawn it off that way and say, oh, look, Donald Trump still destroying the nation and destroying the stock market, destroying the economy. Look at what he's doing. We're going into another Great Depression because of Donald Trump and all those conservative Republican policies trying to get taxes low, trying to get people back to work, and trying to actually raise the economy. I know it's a crazy thought, but they're trying to pitch off this scare tactic. Don't listen to it. If you're involved in the stock market with your investments, take a look at what you're investing in. It's always going to go back up. It's just whether you want to ride it out or not. That's up to you, not up to me. I'm not anybody special when it comes to that, nor do I know anything about the stock market with investments. At the same time, ride it out. If you're not involved in the stock market, then don't worry. It's got nothing to do with you. It's going to be okay. Bottom of the hour news coming up. Lots more to get to here on The Voice of Reason. Stay tuned.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
Today is the first full business day of the partial government shutdown that started Friday night. President Trump's Christmas Day message was that the closed parts of the government will remain that way until Democrats give him money to start building a border wall. Russian President Vladimir Putin today monitored another test of an advanced new Russian hypersonic missile system called Avangard. It carries nuclear and conventional warheads. The U.S. had previously threatened to pull out of the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty if this type of testing continued. Severe weather this morning is threatening parts of Texas and southern Oklahoma, and meteorologist Pedram Javahari tells us gusty winds and heavy rain will spread from there into the nation's midsection.
Eventually, this system puts itself in place across portions of the central U.S., where not only do we have the ingredients here for some severe weather, as we have warm, moist air coming right off of the Gulf, but also seeing a concern here for some heavy snowfall across portions of the northern plains.
And travel may be difficult in those areas. Wall Street stock futures showing future gains this morning. I'm Michael Toscano.
Ask yourself, if you built a van for your business, where would you start? At the beginning, of course, with the people who invented the work van over 100 years ago, Mercedes-Benz. You'd give your new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter advanced technology and safety to keep you connected and protected. You'd make it available in diesel and gas, and there would be thousands of configurations and upfits to choose from. You build it right here in the USA, because your one-of-a-kind business deserves nothing less than a van that's built for you. Introducing the all-new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, the safest, most innovative Sprinter yet, starting at just $33,790. Built for you, the all-new Sprinter, built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz, vans, born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Equipment described as optional. 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter available soon.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. A state audit found allegations of violence and sexual relationships at Kansas' only juvenile prison. Authorities trying to reach 229 current and former employees of the Kansas Juvenile Correctional Complex in Topeka for the audit, but only 48 responded. Kansas News Service reports that 7 people reported being attacked or assaulted by other staff members. 3 people reported sexual relationships between staff and youth at the complex. Kansas Representative-elect Steve Watkins has appointed members of his predecessor staff and a state Republican Party official to key positions in his congressional office. Watkins has announced that Jim Joyce will serve as his communications director. He was the Kansas Republican Party's executive director. Watkins also announced Bill Rowe will be the deputy chief of staff, and Adam York will serve as his legislative director, both of whom have worked for retiring Representative Lynn Jenkins. Mid-America Network News.
truck owners, it's time to visit Toppers Plus Truck Accessories, Wichita's exclusive Lear dealer for truck caps and tonneaus. The new 2017 Super Duty tops are now available. The Lear Locker is the perfect gift for the outdoorsman on your list. Lear Locker is a ceiling-mounted storage system with a sliding drawer to organize your sport or hunting gear. It keeps your gear out of sight and out of the way. Visit Toppers Plus at 5511 West Central in Wichita or toppersplusks.com.
Make your truck work for you.
Mark Collier at Collier Allstate knows mayhem can happen at any time in Kansas. Whether you live in the city, one of Kansas's great small towns, or out in the Great Plains, Mark and Allstate will protect you from the effects of mayhem. Home, health, life, or business, Mark and his great staff will help you find the best protection. Mayhem is guaranteed to come. Let the Mark Collier Agency help you through it. Mark Collier, the Collier Agency, 204 North Main in Goddard. Give them a call at 316-413-4014 and on Facebook at Collier Allstate.
We're taking up to $7,000 off a new Ford Escape. That's Rusty Eck Ford proud.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 6:35, it's currently 51 degrees.
Hey, join me for the Mike Gallagher Show right here on the Big Talker, KQAM, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM.
Never shies away from a fight.
I'm gonna deck your halls, bub.
And now's your chance to jump in the ring. Give Andy a call at 316-721-8255. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
That was the other one that I did watch over the weekend was Jingle All the Way. Great Christmas movie, and it makes you feel so Christmassy. At the same time, get you pumped up for the day. Welcome in 316-721-8255. Great to have you along today. It's a Wednesday. Hopefully you still get to sleep in a little bit today. You're still recovering from the holidays. If not, you have to go back into work. Then you know what? We want to hear from you. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. We are in day number 5 of government shutdown. Oh, mon Dieu! I talked to my brother yesterday. He's an engineer, works for... I don't remember, one of the companies that works for the government, Lockheed Martin. He works for Lockheed, and they do government contracts for stuff. And I don't remember what type of engineer he is, what he does exactly. But he said that yesterday he was working on a project for the Department of Energy. And I said, oh. And I always try and get information from him, which he's not allowed to tell me. And I don't know why. Just because his brother's part of the media, quote unquote, does not mean that he can't divulge and classified information on what engineers are working on for government contracts, for government product. I don't know why he cannot tell me these things. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I asked him, I said, so what are you working on? And he's like, well, I can't give you a whole lot of information. He's like, but there's one project we're working on right now that it is a piece of equipment that the government or the Department of Energy, it's expired and old, and we're working on building a new one. I'm like, okay, what is it? He's like, well, I can't tell you. I said, well, what the heck, man? This is not cool, and you can't keep secrets from your brother like that because, you know, we're kind of like this. We're really close, and you got to tell me these things and give me an inside scoop. So I chatted with him yesterday, but I asked him, I said, did the government shutdown affect you at all? Because I don't remember if the Department of Energy is actually being affected by the government shutdown or not. But I asked him, I said, are you being affected? He's like, no. He's like, actually, when you're contracted out through the government and we're a private entity, we get paid up front for the project. So we already have the money for our project. We don't have to worry about it. I'm still going to work doing my thing, and it's not affecting us. So go ahead and shut down the government. We don't really care because I still get to go to work. I said, oh, okay, that's cool. So, but there are, from what I've heard, close to 8,000 employees that are furloughed right now or that are laid off until we come back. Look, we have to take this a different way. We have to approach government shutdowns in a different way. We have to approach really the public sector jobs in a different way. And I know this may anger a lot of individuals. This may make them shake their head and be like, oh, Andy's so loony, so crazy today. But look, public sector jobs should be like nonprofit jobs. You work it, But at the same time, if you run out of money, then you know that's a possibility, and you end up stopping doing your job. It's really that simple. It should be like a low-budget nonprofit company that's just there temporarily doing their thing, and then when they run out of funds and they close the doors. That's the way a public sector job should be for the federal government. It really should. We have to look at it that way. We should not be afraid in any way, shape, or form of government shutdowns at all, and we've told you why, because it really doesn't affect us in any way, shape, or form. The people that still need to be there for security reasons, for national security reasons, for social program reasons, if you try and make a call, they're all still there. You can still get a hold of somebody. It's the non-essential personnel in the government, which really, again, brings to mind, every time I say that and think of that, you think, why do we have non-essential people in the government in the first place? Why? If they're non-essential, why do we have them hired at all? We should only have essential personnel. We should have a bare-bone skeleton crews that are actually working, doing their job. It's very stressful. It's stuff that you probably don't like to do because you're juggling 5 different hats at one time, and you're just trying to get the job done because that's what it takes if you feel that it's that important to actually get done. That's the way a government job should be at the federal level. I'm serious. I'm not joking. It should be painful to have to do. It should be one of those to where after about 5 years, you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of done. I'm going to rotate the door and let somebody else do this because I can't handle it any longer. Now, I understand that work ethic is kind of on the down slope for most people today. I understand that my generation especially, I mean, look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's a congresswoman-elect, and she has to take personal time to go do yoga and facial things because, well, it's been very stressful, and she hasn't had time to have personal me time. That's the work ethic that we're going up against here. It's very difficult. I mean, if she doesn't get her yoga and her facial thing done apparently once a week, then, you know, she needs some me time. It's been cutting into her personal time, having to, like, work and stuff. Oh, my gosh. She can't just work at the bar that she worked at before, making drinks, and then being able to go get off work and go home and do whatever she wanted to. Now, she's got to actually represent people now, and she has to learn how to actually function in government, and she has to learn about how to actually, you know, do what she needs to do and actually represent the people that she was elected to represent. I know it's a crazy thought process, but maybe you should focus time on studying and on how to do that. I'm just saying. Instead of throwing a fit about your personal time, because that's your work ethic now. That's what we're up against. But government agencies, and I know people probably like, no, it needs to be more stable than that. No, it doesn't. There are some that need to, but government agencies should be acting like nonprofit organizations to where if you run out of money, you run out of money and you just shut down and you realize that you can only work as long as the funding is there, but it's not guaranteed that your funding will be there. That's the way we have to think about it. That's the way the operation needs to look, to where I'm going to work until the funds run out. And once they run out, then I realize I'm just going to go home. It's not one of those, oh, I'm a part of that one of those 800,000 people that are furloughed or they're laid off right now, and I work for NASA, and I'm really upset because, you know, it's just a guaranteed paid income, and I just have to have a steady job. Then work in the private sector. The private sector won't do that unless your business is failing because you made very poor business decisions. There's a big difference there. But outside of that, you have stability in the private sector. Go work there. Why do you have to work in the government? And why do we have non-essential? It still bugs me. Why do we have non-essential personnel that are working to where all of a sudden we're like, yeah, you know what? Government shutdown. We're going to have non-essential personnel stay home. What? Why were they there in the first place? Bothers me. But we're in day number 5. We may be dead. I'm not quite sure because the government's there to usually protect us, and the government hasn't been there to tell us that we're alive and doing well, so I'm not quite sure whether we're actually still functioning or not. Haven't decided that yet. Still trying to figure it out. Maybe we're living in some kind of fantasy dream, but we are still shut down, day number 5. Now, they said that they may convene on the 28th, coming up on Friday, and that they would look at it again, try to revisit it. People, some of the congressmen and women starting to head back to D.C. and trying to figure out what we're going to do. I don't know whether we're going to get a deal or not. I really don't. Donald Trump came out steadfast. He still made a video over the weekend on Saturday talking about the shutdown after the vote from the House of Representatives on Friday.
Our great country must have border security. We don't want people coming in that aren't supposed to be here. We want people to come in through a legal process. It's very dangerous out there. Drugs are pouring in, human trafficking, So many different problems, including gangs like MS-13. We don't want them in the United States. We don't want them in our country. The only thing that's going to stop that is great border security with a wall or a slat fence or whatever you want to call it. But we need a great barrier. And if we don't have it, it's never going to work. Last night, the House of Representatives passed this very important bill, 217 to 185. Some people were surprised by the number. I wasn't, because everybody wants to see our border protected. Now it's up to the Senate, and it's really up to the Democrats, because we need their votes. There's no way it can pass without their votes. We're going to have a shutdown. There's nothing we can do about that, because we need the Democrats to give us their votes. Call it a Democrat shutdown, call it whatever you want, but we need their help to get this approved. So Democrats, we have a wonderful list of things that we need to keep our country safe. Let's get out, let's work together, let's be bipartisan, and let's get it done. The shutdown hopefully will not last long. Thank you very much.
This is brilliant. Now, I'm sorry, this was on Friday last week before the Senate tried to reconvene to vote after the House voted on Thursday night. So the government shutdown had not quite happened as of yet, or it was just beginning to. But this is what we need. Now, I talk about the two things that you need to be successful in politics is money and a good PR team. Donald Trump's staying out in front of this. Donald Trump has been very vocal about this. Donald Trump has been on Twitter. Donald Trump has actually stayed very active in this conversation, showing that he's trying to be reasonable, but he's going to be steadfast and he's not going to budge on this. And he reiterated that over the weekend as well, as he said, we're not going to fund a budget plan without the wall. Now, there's a few different ways that we could talk about this. And in number one, saying that, well, we tried to fund it before so he could actually appropriate the money himself, because we've actually passed budget bills that said we were going to build the wall in the past. That might come back up and federal judge be like, unconstitutional, got to block you. So we may have that. But it would be simple just to fund this, go about our day, do our thing, and be happy with the fact that we actually spent money on the wall for border security. But the Democrats, even though they're saying that they're not going to want to fund the wall, this is coming back on them, and they may try and say it's a Trump shutdown, a Trump shutdown, a Trump shutdown, and that he's being unreasonable. He doesn't want to compromise. We want border security. We just don't want to build the wall, yada, yada, yada. It's making them look bad. And in the grand scheme of the PR, Donald Trump, being a former business owner, he knows PR. He knows how to relay a message. He knows how to get a message across in the way that he needs it to get across. And the Democrats are looking like they don't care for the security of our nation. That's really what it comes down to. They don't care. And they're showing that. And they don't know how to get out of it. Now, I think that they will cave. I really do. They're going to try the best they can to hold out until the new legislature comes in, because then you have a Democrat majority in the House of Representatives. You have a more conservative Senate, but you're not going to get anything with a Democrat-run House. And Nancy Pelosi will not. She already came out looking foolish that right now she said they didn't have enough votes in the House. We passed it overwhelmingly in the House of Representatives. She's going to make damn sure that when she's Speaker of the House that she's not going to have votes at all going in to actually pass a budget bill with a border wall in there. She's not going to do it. She will not. She will be adamant about not passing a budget like that. However, the Democrats have not had to play chicken in a really long time. And that's what it really comes down to. Who can hold their breath the longest? Who can play chicken the best? They think that they're going to be able to bully the Republicans like they have before, and it's not going to work. They don't know how to do it because the Republicans haven't played this game in a long time. They've kind of lost their edge. They got to clean off the cobwebs off the baseball bat here, because they haven't had to play the game in a long time. Usually they threaten it, and then the Republicans cave, and then the Democrats get everything they want. Not this time. Not this time. Donald Trump's not going to do that. So how long can they hold out before they start getting shaky? It worked in the spring of last year, remember, when we threatened the government shutdown, and then Chuck Schumer said that they were going to stand against it, and then they ended up caving, and they didn't want to do it. Donald Trump threatened it. Now we're going into it, and they're starting to get their mojo back a little bit. But to go until the new session, to go until the new elected officials come in there, I can't see that actually happening. That's crazy. Now, we do have the Republicans we need to focus on as well. House of Representatives did pass overwhelmingly in the House this current bill with the funding wall in there. The Republicans in the Senate side are what we need to focus on because we still have enough of the moderates. We still have enough of the, if you want to call them rhinos, we have enough of the crazies from the Republican side saying, no, we're not going to fund this. We're not even going to bring it to the table. We're not going to do anything about it. So not only do we need to focus on Democrats, but Republicans right now are what's really destroying this. Mitch McConnell not wanting to go to the nuclear option. He did say that he wants to work with the president and build the wall. At the same time, he's not changing the legislative ability to actually do what's necessary to get the funding wall onto the floor, voted on, and to the president's desk. He's not doing it. It's kind of one of those sneaky, what he used to do before was say that he's for something, but then allow the system, quote unquote, to block him. And, oh, I just can't do anything about it. I tried, but I just couldn't do anything about it. So he's blocking it while he's saying that he's trying not to block it. He's being very vocal against Chuck Schumer, when right now Chuck Schumer's dominating the conversation as a minority leader. As a leader for the minority party right now. Mitch McConnell trying to be Mr. Hey, we're going to actually control things. We're in the majority right now. We're going to do things. We just don't have the numbers. Not enough people in D.C. They're off on the holidays. They're not going to come back yet. We don't have the votes. A lot of these Republicans said they don't want to vote on this. I don't know what to do here. We're going to try and find some kind of happy compromise. Look, there is no compromise. Build the wall. Fund the $5 billion, which is a ridiculously small amount. Fund it, be done with it, and let's move on. Or we can stay shut down. And then it's going to get really interesting come the new session when we do swear in new officials and we have a more conservative Senate and a Democrat-run House. And then we're going to be really at a stagnation. And I wonder how long the government shutdown will actually happen. I wonder. And you know what? Maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Let's shut it down as long as we can. You know why? Because that will distract the House from doing their distraction of wanting to open up investigations on Trump. Think about that for a minute. They'll be focused on the government shutdown. They'll be angry. They'll be trying to work with the Senate. They'll be trying to override the president. They'll be trying to do all this stuff to reopen the government because their agencies are their little precious thing. Their little precious babies. They'll be more concerned about the government shutdown than they will about opening up investigations. So maybe that'll drag on for a little bit. I don't know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. At the same time, they are showing their true colors, which is they do not care about border security in any way, shape, or form. Let's take some phone calls here, shall we? 316-721-8255 as some phones are lighting up. Line at number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, sir. It's Drew.
Drew. Good morning, sir. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Thanks, sir, and you too. You've just nailed it on several of the points. There's about 4 things that this whole bad theater is about. Number 1 is message. Who's going to control the message? And Trump's background shows us he doesn't like it when someone else is controlling the message.
Sure.
So he's going to go ahead and use the bully pulpit and the bully Twitter and go for it.
Good. You know what? And he's staying on top of it, and I think that's what we need right now.
Yeah,
Stay on
exactly.
top and keep them cornered, because if they can't run with their dialogue and their agenda, then their whole, Donald Trump's not working and compromising whatever with border security, that's not going to fly.
Yep.
It's not going to work.
Yep. Points 2 and 3 are that who's going to control the government, and this is interesting because it's not just about who's going to control the government, but, and the media don't like to talk about this, Pelosi doesn't have exactly a lockstep group coming in. They've managed to go ahead and cobble their diverse little socialist, you play me against you group together, and the only way that it's going to work is if she uses an iron grip. And the problem with an iron grip is the harder you squeeze, the more things slip through your fingers. Mm-hmm. This is about Trump not only seeing who's going to control the legislative side of things, but also who's going to be able to keep control of the Democrat Party.
Sure. That's
Okay,
true.
so
Do you think Nancy Pelosi is going to maintain that power, or do you think it's going to be that new age Democrat, that new face, that young face, that fired up, feisty face that's going to come in and start trying to take over things?
I think we'll see the answer to that is who can present the best media amusement. Yeah, let's go with amusement. And I think whoever can control the media the best, whoever can get the media the most eyes on screens, they're the ones who are going to get to control things.
That is true. That is true. No, you're absolutely. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, with her tweets about Jesus being a refugee, might be able to control enough of the support from the Democrats. What do you think?
But and that's the thing, though, is because you laugh about it, I laugh about it, but someone elected her.
Well, that's true.
There were people out there who elected her. They knew her crazy. They knew her baloney. They're going to go ahead and say, "Oh, she said what? Well, okay, let's go with that."
Sure.
They think that's the way the world works. So yeah, who's going to control it? I don't know. It depends on who the crazy is at the ballot box, I guess.
That's a good
point
point.
number four.
Yes.
Number four, and this is the one that's kind of important. I really think that this wall issue is Trump's read my lips.
Sure.
I mean, this is the point that Bush lost his second term because he backed down on read my lips.
Sure.
They're trying to see if they can make Trump back down on I'm going to build the wall, because they know that if they do, they're just going to nail him to a wall with it come the next presidential election.
He's going to lose his entire base. You're absolutely right. Read my lips. I'm going to build the wall. Look, and this is deeper. And, Drew, I got to take a break here. I really appreciate it, because you're absolutely right. This is deeper than just the wall. This is him fulfilling a campaign promise. This is him holding accountable to what he said he was going to do. This is his base, and this is the fact that the Democrats have been wanting to say that they're for border security, say they're for taking care of the nation, and then they end up doing something other than that because they really don't care. And that's really what it comes down to. This is a very deep issue right now, and it really is the game of chicken. Who's going to come out and prevail at the end of it? I don't know. Whether Donald Trump will cave, whether the Democrats will cave themselves, which I think they will at some point, or whether we're going to be stagnant for a long time with a new refreshed Congress, Congress who thinks that they're going to have more power and more control because they are a Democrat-run House and a more conservative Senate. So not only will we have the bickering between Congress and the president, we'll have bickering within the chambers of Congress as well, which is going to just add a whole nother layer to this argument and debate. Appreciate it very much. Got to take a break here, wrapping up hour number one. Lots more coming up here on The Voice of Reason. Stay tuned.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Well, the ag futures markets muddled their way through a shortened day on the Christmas Eve Monday, and we were mixed with our grains and soybeans. Corn futures saw fractional losses in most contracts on Monday's shortened session. It was kind of a slow news day on top of that. March corn closed down 0.75 cents at 3.77 3/4. May was down 0.5 cents at 3.85 3/4. Soybean futures closed the Christmas Eve session with most contracts fractionally lower. Nearby soy meal was the leader at $1.90 a ton higher, with soy oil was 15 points lower. And we likely won't see much news there either. The partial government shutdown will probably not include any kind of export data until that gets cleared up. January soybeans were down 0.75 cents at 8.84. March beans down 0.75 cents at 8.97. As we pointed out, soybean meal was up, soy oil was a bit lower. Wheat futures came back to close Monday with most contracts steady to 3 cents higher. Again, not a lot of news, so not a lot of reason to do a whole lot of moving. The Chicago wheat closed up 2.5 cents at 5.16. Kansas City wheat for March closed down 0.25 cents at 5.02. Taking a look at livestock, live cattle futures were steady to 40 cents higher on lower holiday volume. Again, a shortened day on Monday. December live cattle closed unchanged at 120.87. February was up 7 at 122.77. January feeder cattle up a couple of pennies at 147.37. So things were mixed in the cattle complex. Lean hog futures posted 12 to 85 cent losses in most contracts on Monday. There was a huge slaughter last week, 2.737 million head. February hogs closed down 82 at 60.30. April hogs were down 12 at 67.10. Market information from Mid-America Ag Network.
At Starseed, we realize every farmer and rancher has a passion for conservation, which is why we offer conservation seeds. This season, let Starseed assist with your CRP, buffers, waterways, roadside projects, and any wildlife project you have in mind. Starseed works closely with landowners, dealers, and government agencies to ensure the best quality seed for all of your conservation needs. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
We're taking up to $14,000 off a new Ford F-150. That's Rusty X Ford proud.
All right, top of the hour news coming up in just a minute. We'll continue this conversation when we come back in hour number 2. There's a lot to it and a lot of layers of the onion as we always try and dive in and understand what's actually going on, not only with the government shutdown, but with the border security, with the Democrats putting up their wall, so to speak, against the actual funding of the wall, and where we're going to look come 2019. It's going to be a fun one. I think the best Christmas gift that we could have had was a government shutdown. The government not being as intrusive as what it could be, that's a Christmas gift all by itself. What do you think? Hour number 2 of The Voice of Reason coming up. Stay right here.
Even the finest jewelry needs repairs sometimes, and Wichita's first choice for full-service jewelry repair is Jewelry Savers. Whether you need ring sizing, stone setting, soldering, or shank repair, Jewelry Savers does it, along with lobster clasps, prong retipping, pearl restringing, chains shortened or lengthened, watch repair, watch batteries, watch bands, engraving, cleaning, polishing, even appraisals. Trust Jewelry Savers by Cabela's at K96 in Greenwich.
Jewelry Savers, we don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
It sounds innocent enough.
I like to shop the internet thinking I'll save a few dollars.
But
when it comes to truck accessories, we spend a lot of time in our shop trying to adapt for people what they thought would be such a great deal.
With a combined 100 years of knowledge and experience, our professional sales and installation staff will help you make sure that you get the right accessories for your truck.
Have your accessories professionally installed, saving you time and headaches.
Continental Truck Accessories, 6701 South Broadway.
This is a Steckline communication station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Heartland Avionics and JD Aviation, your aircraft maintenance partners at Augusta Municipal Airport. Learn more at iflyaugusta.com.
Good Wednesday morning. A man was seriously injured on Christmas Eve while he was trying to change a tire on the highway near I-135 and K96. The Kansas Highway Patrol said that on Christmas Eve afternoon, 61-year-old Robert Jorbert was the driver of a truck that collided with the rear end of a van parked on the right shoulder of the road. Authorities say 21-year-old Bryce Grossman was underneath the van retrieving a spare tire when the van was hit from behind, causing it to come down on him. Grossman was initially unresponsive and was last reported in serious condition. The KHP still investigating why Jorbert failed to maintain his lane. A woman in critical condition after a rollover accident in northwest Sedgwick County at around 3:15 yesterday afternoon. Sedgwick County Sheriff's deputies say an 18-year-old female traveling with her 10-month-old boy in an SUV rolled her vehicle near the intersection of North 279th Street West and 85th Street North. Cake TV reports it is believed she was attempting to pass another vehicle and overcorrected, causing her SUV to lose control. The mother transported to the hospital in critical condition, and authorities say the baby only had minor injuries. No names immediately released. The Arc of Sedgwick County is asking the public's help in tracking down the person who stole power lines from some light displays. The nonprofit organization says the theft happened around 2:30 Saturday morning and that the thief cut power lines to the tunnel, shine tree, and mega trees. A police report was filed, and anyone who has any information about the crime is asked to contact police. Thanks to generous volunteers, the Arc of Sedgwick County's lights were able to be repaired and back on as usual. Wichita Fire Department says smoke detectors likely saved 3 lives at a home near 13th and West Street on Christmas Eve when fire broke out. Firefighters say that all 3 were able to escape the fire Monday morning at around 6 o'clock safely. Damage to the home was extensive. I'm Rick Everett with news. Now Doug Downs with sports.
As the Kansas City Chiefs get back to work again today, they prepare for their final game of the year against Oakland on Sunday. It's the biggest game of the year for Kansas City. If they win, they clinch the AFC and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Lose, and they could drop down to the 5th seed. Back at practice, Andy Reid says got to work on turnovers and penalties.
Turnovers and penalties, that we got to stop that. And it was defensively the same thing. You got to stop those.
Bowl games get back underway today. One of note is TCU out of the Big 12 taking on California. That's an 8 p.m. kickoff tonight. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs.
Matt Jarvis and the crew at MJ's Truck Repair of Mound Ridge, Kansas want to take this opportunity to wish you the merriest of Christmases and the most prosperous of New Years. Kansas' largest independent big truck and trailer service center between Wichita and Salina, MJ's Truck Repair looks forward to serving you in the new year, keeping you rolling worry-free. At exit 46 off I-135 under the big American flag in Mound Ridge, Kansas, MJ's Truck Repair, wishing you the best of the holiday season.
Shopping small and local this holiday season feels good, so pass along these good tidings with gift boxes and baskets from Yoder Meats. Our gift boxes are filled with locally sourced meats and steaks, as well as cheeses and other products made from Kansas companies. We're sure you'll love supporting them too. What a wonderful way to show your love and appreciation to family, friends, clients, or employees. From our Christmas tree to yours, give the old-fashioned flavor of Yoder Meats in Yoder and 3 locations in Wichita.
Every day starts better with a good breakfast. It's a fact. Here's another fact. Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop at Maple and Tracy by Town West Mall has, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 2 p.m., a chalkboard special that'll knock your socks off. Not only is this a full meal breakfast deal, Monday through Friday at Spears, but it includes coffee. Here's one example. 2 eggs, bacon, 2 pancakes, and golden hash browns, only $5.95. A different special every Monday through Friday, and they're all only $5.95, including coffee. The Spears Chalkboard Special, Monday through Friday at Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
Today is the first full business day of the partial government shutdown that started Friday night. President Trump's Christmas Day message was that the closed parts of the government will remain that way until Democrats give him money to start building a border wall. Russian President Vladimir Putin today monitored another test of an advanced new Russian hypersonic missile system called Avangard. It carries nuclear and conventional warheads. The U.S. had previously threatened to pull out of the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty if this type of testing continued. Severe weather this morning is threatening parts of Texas and southern Oklahoma, and meteorologist Pedram Javahari tells us gusty winds and heavy rain will spread from there into the nation's midsection.
Eventually, this system puts itself in place across portions of the central U.S., where not only do we have the ingredients here for some severe weather, as we have warm, moist air coming right off of the Gulf, but also seeing a concern here for some heavy snowfall across portions of the northern plains.
And travel may be difficult in those areas. Wall Street stock futures showing future gains this morning. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Derby Mattress. No dancing animals, no gimmicks. Your locally owned hometown mattress store at 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:06, it's currently 51 degrees.
Like us on Facebook today at KQAM. This is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM. It's time for Reason.
The funding for the state government in 1995 was right around $3 billion. Now it's just over 5. Spending is up around 7. If we've gone up, close to about $2 billion higher above what inflation would be if we would have gone at the rate of inflation. And 60% of our budget is educational funding. That education funding is actually way higher than what inflation is as well.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
That's what I'm talking about. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. It's hour number 2 of the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas on the Big Talker. 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We're on TV today as well, KGPT TV, channel 2610. We're also on YouTube Live. Go to youtube.com. Find KQAM Radio, subscribe to it, watch us live, watch the podcast, leave us a message. Doesn't really matter. Welcome aboard. Great to have you today. It is a post-Christmas Wednesday. I know it's a Wednesday, but why not? Let's get you pumped up, ready to go. Let's get you excited. Maybe you have to go to work for a few days. It's a very difficult thing to do. You're dragging after the holidays, so let's get you pumped up, ready to go for the day. Come on, let's have some fun.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
There it is, 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, we want to hear from you. Open lines to you. We have Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim Howell. Yes, he is still joining today on a Wednesday. It's no Sedgwick County Commission meeting or anything, but he is joining us to talk to us about the holidays, talk about some fun stuff, wrapping up 2018 as well, so get ready for that one. Also, we may do a year-end review coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, and we'll talk about what's coming up in 2019. I am so excited for 2019. It's going to be a heck of a year. Maybe we can actually focus on important things. Maybe we can actually have like legit conversations. We can have debates. We can have dialogue. We can talk about really important things. Unlike the distractions that so many people love to have. Like, I'm getting on and I'm seeing these stories, and I'm on the Daily Mail here from a story that I'm reading about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which we'll talk about in just a second. But on the side, they always have these little hyperlinks of different stories that you can link to and talk about. And here's some of the I don't get it. I don't know why people care about this stuff. Drives me nuts. Here it is. Kylie Jenner. Okay, I don't even know who that is. I think she's part of the Kardashian team, and I don't even know whatever. But Kylie Jenner, one of them, reveals she left the annual Kardashian Christmas Eve party early to give her daughter Stormy a bath and put her to sleep. Oh, my gosh. That right there, that is news that I needed to know in my life. Now, I don't know why you would name your kid Stormy with an I at the end, Stormi. I don't know why you would name her that. You're like already just setting her up to become a stripper that's going to have some kind of allegation with the president of the United States at some point and probably be tied up in some kind of legal suit. I don't know why you would name your kid Stormy, but you named your kid Stormy. That's the first thing that stuck out to me. Number two was that she left the Kardashian Christmas Eve party early to get her daughter a bath and to put her to sleep. That right there, I needed to know that in my life. Like, who cares? And this is stuff that people actually click on to read. Here's another one for you. Kate and Meghan, the Queen over in Britain, those were ordered to call Christmas Day truce by the Queen and Charles amid fears that their feud would overshadow the royal festivities. Oh, you know what? They have personal issues with one another, and I needed to know their drama and what was going to happen with their Christmas party because that totally, like, made my day right there. Now I can fully live with myself. I am struggling. It is a Christmas holiday. We're going into the new year, and I am officially struggling because now I cannot believe Kylie Jenner actually left the Christmas party early from the Kardashians. I cannot believe that they actually had a feud at the royal festivities, and I cannot believe that our government's actually shut down. I am distraught right now. I'm not quite sure how to handle all this. I really don't. Maybe I should just cry and be a millennial. I don't know. I probably just need to be a millennial right now. 316-721-8255. But the reason I was actually on the link was because we have a new segment on the show that I think you'll enjoy quite nicely.
Now time for the Crazy Cortez Corner.
And the latest story from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is her tweet from Christmas yesterday. Joy to the world. Merry Christmas, everyone. Here's to a holiday filled with happiness, family, and love for all people. And then she, of course, put in parentheses, including refugee babies in mangers and their parents. Yeah, she went there. She continued on with another tweet for all anti-immigrant pundits uncomfortable with and denying that Christ's family were refugees too. And she shared a link where Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, refugees. Yes, a family's forced to flee their homeland to fear persecution. This is the classic modern-day definition of a refugee. She thinks that they were refugees, which is why they had to have the birth of their baby in a manger, and they were refugees fleeing persecution, and how we as Christians and conservatives who celebrate the birth of Christ on Christmas Day, are celebrating a refugee and how we should be more acceptable to refugees in today's times rather than building walls and shutting ourselves off. This is a Congresswoman-elect.
Now time for the Crazy Cortez Corner.
Now, if she actually understood things a little bit deeper, we could obviously try and tell her and explain to her and lay it out in child's. Maybe we need to do it in like a children's coloring book version.
Be like, oh, hey, this is them going to the land of Jerusalem.
Because there was a census being called, and they had to go. And by the way, this is all still under Roman power at this time, so they were under the same nation because it was the Roman Empire, which means you could travel at that time. Didn't know if you're aware of this or not, AOC. That's what we're going to call her now, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. I don't know if you're aware of this, AOC, is that you could travel within the nation anywhere you wanted to, and there were no walls because you were still under Roman Empire. So you could travel. And the reason they were in the manger was because just the place was full because there was a census going on, so it was kind of a busy time. That's it. End of story. What are you talking about with a refugee? Oh, they hid away from the rest of society. They hid in the manger and hid in the stables there because they had to hide from persecution because they would have been slaughtered at the time. I mean, I don't know what book you're reading. Don't know what stories you're trying to talk about here, but you obviously don't know what you're talking about, like usual. I tell you, for someone who's an elected official, she's had more gaffes than any other person I think that's been in politics for 30 years. Combined, like when they slip up and they say something stupid, and you're like, oh, hey, we're going to hold on to that for the rest of our lives. And I don't remember doing that with Obama. I mean, he made some gaffes. I mean, he did his stupid little things of, oh, I traveled and I visited 56 states already, and he said some ridiculous things. We made fun of it at the time, and ha, ha, ho, ho, okay, at the end of the day. But I never like to focus on that stuff much because it's dumb. I get it. People say stupid things on occasion. It slips out or it came out in a different way from what they had intended. And I don't jump on board and say and try and call them out for that stuff. I get it. I say stupid things too on occasion. It happens. I'm a reasonable kind of guy. I'm a rational kind of guy. And I'm not going to jump on gaffes, but when you try and use the gaffes and you don't even like correct yourself and you're like, oh, I made a mistake, here's the correction. When you defend the gaffe because you don't know any better, when you think you're intelligent and then you say stupid things and you continue to defend them thinking that you're intelligent, that's when we have a problem with this. She has yet to correct herself when she said that Palestinians were having a hard time because Israel was blocking their homes to where they couldn't go home at night. She's yet to correct herself when she said she wanted to turn Kansas red. I get it. It was a gaffe. It was a stupid thing. But did she ever come back and, people defend her? People still, Donald Trump does the same thing. He does, yes. So what? She does it way more often, and she defends it. She sticks to it. She makes a political agenda out of it. That's the scary part. There's a big difference there. 316-721-8255. On a positive note, I do like to go on the positive side. It is still kind of the holidays. You're in the holiday festive mood. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Mine was absolutely fantastic. It was just what I needed. I feel re-energized. I feel good to go. I'm ready for another holiday for New Year's next week. It's going to be a good time. But on a good note, according to charlottesobserver.com, is that low gas prices leading to record holiday travel. For the first time in a long time, many individuals got to go and travel for the holidays and maybe get away from the AOCs of the world and to go and visit family and friends. Maybe go someplace they haven't gone before. Maybe get in their car and just go for a cruise because gas prices are at the level you can do that. Again, on Christmas Eve, the national average was $2.32 per gallon. Here in Wichita, it was like $1.89 or something, $1.90, something like that, just a couple of days ago. I don't know if it still is or not, but good golly. Are you kidding me? $2.32 is the national average per gallon of gas, setting the record low for 2018. In North Carolina, the average price was $2.20 per gallon, more than 12 cents cheaper than this time as of last year. The savings almost may contribute to more holiday traffic as travelers opt to pack up their car and drive to visit family for the winter vacation spots. Motorists are getting a gift for this holiday in the form of relief at the pump, according to AAA and their report on the story. This is the kind of economy we have now. As we see the stock market that's crashing and everybody panicky about this and worried about the fact that it's at a record low in a December since the Great Depression, in the 1930s, and everybody's panicking about this, how we're going to have another Great Depression, and all the stock market's going to crash, and da-da-da-da-da. While we're seeing that panic and mayhem, we're seeing extremely low gas prices. We're seeing people go back to work. It's a little bit different scenario than the Great Depression because people are actually working. It would be a different story if we had a high unemployment rate and the stock market was crashing and we had negative GDP growth and things were bad. But that doesn't happen when we cut taxes and regulations, just FYI. It doesn't happen that way. Also, according to the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. holiday retail sales are the strongest it has been in years, according to the early data. Shoppers deliver the strongest holiday sale increase in U.S. retailers in 6 years. Total U.S. retail sales, excluding automobiles, rose by 5.1% November 1st through December 24th from an earlier year, according to MasterCard trackings. Overall, U.S. consumers spent over $850 billion this holiday season. $850 billion. Do you realize how much of a wall we could have built with that? You realize how much money that is? $850 billion. That's about a third of our federal budget right now. And we spent that between November 1 and December 24th as retailers. That's how big our economy is. That's how big the private sector is. That's a good thing. Because that's not just like what we had in Kansas here was, oh, you know, the revenue's coming up, the revenue's bigger, the revenue's better because more people are working and it's just income tax results and tax receipts coming into the Kansas government. No, it's actually sales. It's actually sales tax. It's actually consumer purchases. That means people have money, they feel comfortable spending the money, and that they know that they're going to be able to compensate the spending of that money with their job and with the economy and with the way things are right now, with low gas prices, with whatever else is going on in their life. They actually have good things. This is good news. We're not going to see a Great Depression. We're not going to see the burst of people being on social programs. We're not going to see the burst of unemployment. We're not going to see the devastatingly poor rates like we did during the Great Depression because people are working, because people are spending money. The stock market will correct itself. The tech industry, as we talked about in the first hour, is what destroyed the stock market right now because they're creating products that consumers don't want, whether it's government regulation or whether they just got too big for their britches. Either way, that's why the stock market's down. It will correct itself. It will begin to track back up because we have an economy that's doing well. People are spending money, and that's how you tell. It's not how many people are working. It's not the tax receipts from income tax where we track and see how well the government's doing or how well the nation or a state is doing. It's when we track the sales and the purchases by consumers, meaning they feel comfortable spending that money. And right now, we rose 5.1%, the highest spending rate increase in 6 years. That's a good sign. Things are doing well. We're going to be all right. And we did all this, by the way, even with a government shutdown. Got to take a break. 20 minutes past the hour. Happy Wednesday morning to you. It's a post-Christmas. What'd you get for Christmas? And do you want to talk about any of the holidays? We'd love to hear from you today on The Voice of Reason. Stay tuned.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Meade. Hope you had a great Christmas. One expert says the new farm legislation is a mixture of old ideas and new ideas, all crafted and blended together in a time of budget constraints. We get the story from Gary Crawford.
The basic document that governs how the whole country is run, the Constitution, has only a little over 4,500 words written on 4 sheets measuring about 29 by 23 inches. Let's fast forward 230 years to the White House.
Now it's my great honor to sign the Farm Bill.
Just one bill.
There are 11 titles in this farm bill, over 800 pages.
Ohio State University economist Carl Zuloff, some general observations about the bill from this seasoned analyst first.
It's largely a 5-year extension of current policy. with a few exceptions.
Mainly the cotton and dairy programs, which had already been included in February's bipartisan budget bill. In fact, Zulov told us,
I don't know that we would have a farm bill if new monies had not come in through the bipartisan budget act for the cotton and dairy program. That's how tight the money was.
And as it turns out,
this is a cheaper farm bill than the 2014 bill.
Mainly due to fewer people on the USDA SNAP program. Gary Crawford, Washington.
One thing that was included in the Farm Bill, the Agriculture Broadband Coalition welcomed the Precision Agriculture Connectivity Act, which was included in the Farm Bill. Coalition co-chair Nick Tyndall says U.S. farmers and ranchers are deploying more and more data-driven technologies and solutions into their operations, and their need for reliable broadband connections in the field is intensifying. This important provision highlights this need to expand broadband services, including mobile coverage, to United States croplands and ranch lands. Zippy Duvall, president of the American Farm Bureau, says bringing together the USDA, the FCC, along with other public and private stakeholders to address the need for broadband was very important in this Farm Bill. Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network.
Ho, ho, ho! Hi, it's James Carey to say that now that Christmas is over, it's time to get ready for 2019. So, what's your home improvement resolution? Join us this week at On the House for some brilliant ideas and tips to make your new year brilliant. On the House, Saturdays at 5 p.m. here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM KQAM. Brought to you by Croft Lumber.
Can you believe the year is almost over? Mike here at Rusty Eck Ford. Year end for us is a big sale for you, and nobody does a year end sale better than us. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud of this sale. Check this out. Pick out your new Ford and make no payments till 2020. That's right. You drive it for a year, no payments. Get a new F-150 Rusty Eck Ford truck with no payments till 2020. A new car, no payments for a year. A new SUV, it's 2020 before a payment is due. But the sale ends on 12/31. Hey, you can have a happy new car and make no payments for a year. Come see us today for the year-end sale before the year ends. Only at Rusty Eck Ford in Wichita. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud. Dealer retains rebates, Ford credit, interest accrued from date of sale. All negative equity paid in full. Max payment assistance up to $500 cannot be combined with any other offers.
The Joe Pag Show, weekdays at 5 on the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM.
Into the Voice of Reason, 25 minutes past the hour. This portion of the Voice of Reason brought to you by Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop. Be a rock star today, baby. On your way to work, pick up a dozen donuts from Lamar's. It's a great way to start each and every morning, especially after the holidays. I tell you what, I am still full from the wife's cooking on Christmas Eve. See, here's the tradition. She cooks on Christmas Eve, or the day before the holiday. We celebrate then, and then she can rest and enjoy for the holiday as well. And we did that. She made, oh my gosh, I tell you what, I've never had turkey like that. I've never had turkey like that. The 3 days soaking and red wine and juniper berries and all these other leaves. It's so funny because she's Native American, and I always laugh at, I looked at the bucket because she had it there and it was brining and just doing this whole thing with the red wine. And I was helping her make the concoction before when she started doing this on what was a Friday. And it's so funny because she's such the Native American. It was actual leaves. I don't even remember what kind of juniper berries, the really hard berries. And I'm like, what's that going to do? But the juniper berries and then like these leaves and all these other like things and then the red wine. And I was just like, this is total like Native American, like traditionalist, like we should be roasting this over a fire kind of thing. Because, but I tell you what, we got it done and it just falls off the bone. And it is the most juicy, tender turkey that I've ever had my entire life. I swear, it was crazy. So anyways, I'm still full from from Christmas Eve and from Christmas Day on your way to work this morning. Now you get back up and going. Hopefully you can coach through the rest of this week. But be a rock star. Bring some dozen donuts. That's how I do the full circle here, like that. Yeah. Do the dozen donuts. Bring it to work for your employees, for your coworkers, for your friends, whatever. It's a great way to start each and every morning, get you going for a day, especially a day that you don't want to get back into the groove after the holidays. Lamar's Donuts and Coffee, they have 3 locations in town just south of Rock and K96, one at Tyler and Mays, the other at Harry on the east side of Hillside. Try them. You'll definitely like them. Lamar's Donuts and Coffee Shop online as well at lamars.com. Go and check them out. You know, as we talk about the study of the consumer purchases, and we see how much money was being spent from November 1 to December 24th, I am glad they stop it on December 24th. And I don't know about you, but I was really happy to see, and we were just talking about this off the air a little bit, that I was really happy to see that there were many stores that were closed on Christmas Day, including Walmart, I believe, for many places, which I think is really good. It drives me absolutely nuts where some businesses feel that, you know what, let's just stay open on Christmas Day to try and bring in some more revenue for the people that have nothing better to do on Christmas. And it always bothers me, and I always feel bad. And if you had to work on Christmas Day, I feel terrible for you. Maybe if you are maybe part of the emergency personnel, law enforcement, that sort of thing. If you're in the military, obviously, and you're overseas and you're doing something, our thoughts and prayers go out to you. But if it's avoidable, if you work at a retail store, if you work at maybe a gas station, if you work at some of those, I feel terrible that you had to work. And I will not show up and try and make you work on a day where you're supposed to have, I don't know, it bothers me. It really irks me. There's one of those few things that gets under my skin, and one of those is saying, oh, yeah, let's stay open on a Christmas Day, on a big holiday, and keep our employees away from their families because we feel that we could generate just a little bit more revenue. To me, that just bothers me really, really bad. I don't like that at all. But I did see, and we went through a phase for a while where every business tried to stay open on Christmas Day. Hey, we're going to stay open. We're available for you to do your last-minute shopping. Look, if you don't know how to get your last-minute shopping done before the day of, the actual day of, then you have a problem, and you have a time management problem. I always wanted to put a thing on, when I was a banker, wanted to put a little sign on the front of my teller desk, because we were inside the grocery store, one of those to where you would do the tellering and the banking stuff. I could open you a checking account and do your deposit and then refi your home all at the same time. And we were in one of those inside grocery store things. And I always wanted to put a sign out in front saying that your lack of time management does not constitute a crisis on my end. Because people come in last minute, 5 minutes after we close. Hey, can I still do a deposit? No, you can't. No, you cannot. Hey, can I open a checking account? No, we close in 5 minutes. Sorry. What? No, sorry. We're open until 7 o'clock at night. You could have been here. Yeah, I'm just saying. So if you couldn't go and get your stuff done before Christmas Day, that's on you. That's not on the person that needs to be there and be away from their family. So I feel bad. I'm glad to see a lot of stores were closed. And then God bless and thank you for all the individuals that didn't have to, that were kind of a necessity, needed to be away and actually work on Christmas Day. Thank you for your service, for what you do. We really do appreciate it, even though many may not actually say that. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Got to take a break. Bottom of the hour news coming up. Jim Howell, Sedgwick County Commissioner, when we come back right here on The Voice of Reason.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
The Russian military says it has successfully tested a new hypersonic glide vehicle. Among a new group of weapons President Vladimir Putin boasts the United States is powerless to intercept. The avant-garde missile has intercontinental range. Customs and Border Protection officials say they're conducting medical checks on every child in their custody. This after a second reported death of a minor, an 8-year-old, this month. Democratic U.S. Representative-elect Veronica Escobar of Texas says the U.S. doesn't have the appropriate facilities and personnel at the border.
These tragedies are happening because Congress and the administration have not adequately provided the resources, both in personnel and infrastructure, to adequately take these folks in.
Wall Street investors are warily watching stock futures register some gains this morning, with the opening bell just an hour away. The fear is another wild ride downward has happened the last few sessions. Right now, the Nasdaq leading gains up 65. I'm Michael Toscano.
Macy's After Christmas sale has all the stuff Santa missed. Get an extra 20 or 15% off with your Macy's card or pass. Treat yourself to 25 to 45% off fine jewelry. Dresses that almost never go on sale are 25% off. And get an extra 30% off men's basics when you spend $50. Now through January 1st at Macy's. Savings off sale prices, exclusions apply. Macy's Star Rewards now offers perks everyone can love no matter how they pay. Sign up for free in-store or at Macys.com/Star Rewards.
At Anytime Fitness, we know that healthy doesn't happen on its own.
But together, we can make healthy happen.
With the right help.
In the right ways.
With an ally who listens.
With coaching and team workouts.
To get you to your healthier place.
Anytime Fitness. Let's make healthy happen.
January 1st through 11th, join for $1 and get a free Jumpstart training package with a coach, valued at $100. Visit myhealthyhappens.com.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. A top Republican in the Kansas House has appointed 2 veterans of state government and conservative politics to key staff positions. Incoming House Majority Leader Dan Hawkins said that B.J. Hardin and Moriah Day will serve as his Chief of Staff and Communications Director. Hardin is a Deputy Transportation Secretary who also worked in the Secretary of State's office. Day is an associate for a GOP consulting firm. Departing Kansas Governor Jeff Collier isn't ruling out a future run for public office, but says he'll be looking for opportunities in both business and government service. The Republican governor wasn't specific about his plans during a recent Associated Press interview, except to say he and wife Ruth will take a little vacation after leaving office on January 14th. They're headed to Disney World. Kansas News on the Mid-America Network. I'm Rick Everett.
You don't put your dirty socks back in the drawer or dirty dishes back in the cupboard, do you? Well, you shouldn't put your dirty lawnmower away for the winter either, especially when Maximum Outdoor Equipment is offering a winter service special, which includes everything your mower needs to be clean, sharpened, ready to go, and ready to mow next spring. As an incentive to get your mower in before the rush, Maximum Outdoor is offering your choice of early bird winter service discounts through December 29th. 25% off on winter service labor or free pickup and delivery within a 25-mile radius. See full details on our winter service specials and the early bird discounts available through December 29th online at MaximumOutdoor.com or give us a call at 316-943-0201. At Maximum Outdoor Equipment, we won't wash your socks or your dishes, but we'd love to clean and service your mower and get it ready for spring. Maximum Outdoor Equipment, just south of Kellogg on West Street and online at MaximumOutdoor.com.
Maximum service, maximum value, Maximum Outdoor Equipment.
You can't handle the truth.
Hi, this is Phil Martinez at Phil's Coins. At the shop, we talk all the time about honesty and integrity. And in our shop, we've decided that honesty means nothing without integrity. So what I would tell you is that if you didn't bring your coins to Phil's Coins, honestly, you didn't get enough money for what you have. Come see us at Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central, or online at philscoins.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:35, it's currently 52 degrees.
Feeding your addiction to talk radio. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on KQAM, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM. This segment of The Voice of Reason on KQAM brought to you by Riverside Cafe, home of the 3-pound burger and hand-cut fries, plus breakfast all day long. 2 Wichita locations and 824 North Baltimore in Derby. Riverside Cafe. Andy doesn't tolerate name-calling.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
But if you want to try, call the show at 316-721-8255 right now. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome into The Voice of Reason, making it happen, advancing conservatism on a daily basis, even during the holidays as we try and wrap up Christmas. Post-Christmas Wednesday right now feels like a Monday for some, but don't worry, it may feel like a Monday even though we have Friday just 2 days away and we can have some fun with that. Then we get a whole new holiday all next week on Monday and Tuesday again. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome in, 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. It is time for our weekly update. As we love having him on the show, Sedgwick County Commissioner Mr. Jim Howell on the line with us here. Jim, Merry Christmas to you, sir. How you doing?
Oh, Merry Christmas to you too, Andy. I'm one of those deplorables, and I hope it's okay.
A deplorable? Well, I mean, there's nothing
You
wrong
just
with
talked
being
about
that.
it.
Yeah.
I know. Well, you always have some great sound bites, and I love listening to your show. Merry Christmas to you. I for the first time ever, I have never done this before, but I have one of those TVs you can put YouTube on there.
Ooh.
So I thought I would just put YouTube on this morning and see if I could see what Andy looks like in my living room. And my gosh, 55 inches of Andy was quite shocking.
That's a bit of a feat right there. I mean, I don't know if you can handle that much Andy Hoosier in the morning. That's a little intense right there. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's awesome. And you know what? We have one of those smart TVs too, and I'm trying to figure it out. This whole you can get the YouTube on your TV, and you can get Netflix, and you can it's like a computer on your TV, just like your smartphone. I don't know if this whole new technology thing is all new, and I don't know if I necessarily like all this.
You know, it seems a little bit confusing right now, but I think it is getting better. I can watch YouTube 3 or 4 different ways now on the same TV. I don't understand. It's crazy.
Well, now you can
we got a Roku
yes.
a while back, and the TV's also got it built in, so I don't know which way's better. But anyway, it is kind of interesting. But the idea that you have to have cable TV to see stuff is just not true.
Sure.
We're seeing all kinds of options these days, and it's kind of fun to see and learn new things here. But technology is changing right in front of us.
Yeah, that it is. Each and every day, you got to stay up on it, or else you fall behind quite drastically. Was the TV with the YouTube on there? Is that one of the Christmas things surprises from yesterday?
Well, actually, not directly, but my kids are educating me. They brought the Roku over and showed me how this stuff works. And so, because we did have 2 family gatherings, my kids are helping me. I'm an old man now, helping me learn this technology, and so. That's all about. But hey, I do want to just say one thing. You mentioned just a minute ago about the first responders and people like that have to work on Christmas Day.
Yes.
You know, as a county commissioner, I just want to say thank you to our staff. We have about 3,000 employees, but you know, we have altogether, I'd say about maybe 1/3 of our employees, probably maybe a third, maybe more of them. I need to get a good number on that, but. You know, we have people who work the jail, our jail deputies. We've got sheriff's officers. We have VA people who have to be on staff if something happens and have to make they're on call, I would say. We've got EMS for emergency medical services. We have emergency management, monitoring the weather and things going on around the world. We've got fire department staff. We have public works staff that have to be on call in case bad weather comes in. They know they've got to respond and provide help on the roads and types of things like that. So we have got a lot of people across our county government that either are working or on call. And I just want to say thank you to them. They're tremendous, and we love what they do. I've got one daughter. I've got one of my sons is engaged to an EMS paramedic, and just so happened she had yesterday off.
Sure.
But it's just her schedule, just the way it worked out. And my son is a firefighter. It just works out that his schedule just worked out that he got to come over. But the stars lined up for me yesterday. And usually that doesn't happen. Usually we have a gathering, and one of them's off doing something because they just have to.
Sure.
But yesterday we were blessed. And I do want to share with you one other thing. I didn't mention this last week because it was happening right then. But we have a new grandson in the Howell family, the first grandson from my family, my immediate family, and little Walter was here yesterday. What a blessing he was and is.
Love it.
And so I have a granddaughter now, and I have a grandson, and our family, of course, was all here. I was so blessed yesterday, and that was the second family gathering at the Howell house. We had actually one. We invited extended family, and that's one of those things where pretty much everybody shows up.
Sure.
And I tell you what, you can barely get in the room. It's just unbelievable how many people would show up to that. Now, those first responders couldn't come to that, so that we missed a number of people because they were out working. But we probably had 40 people in the house at least, I'm going to guess. It was just a lot of fun. So again, I just feel so blessed with family, and That's kind of what's going on around here. But back to the county, this is our normal day to have a meeting. Today's Wednesday, but because it is near a holiday, we skipped this one, and we actually skipped the next one too. So we will not have a meeting on January the 2nd.
Sure.
Or today. In fact, our offices are closed yesterday for any type of ordinary typical business, but they are open today. You can go down and get a tag if you need to. Those offices are all open.
Sure.
County clerk's office is open. The courts are open. And then, of course, next week on New Year's Day, the offices will be closed again, but they open again on Wednesday. The offices will be open even though we're not going to have a meeting. And so we only actually have those 2 actual holidays off in terms of paid holiday for these employees, and everything else is business as usual. So technically speaking, I guess I've got to go to work.
Hey, gotta go back to work. No, well, congratulations on the grandkid. That's extremely great. And you're right. I mean, it's really good to see the stars align. It is troubling when some obviously need to work, the EMS, the fire department, police department. I mean, we still continue on. Our safety is number one priority, and we do focus on that, and that's why we do give credit to all of our emergency personnel and first responders and everybody that is involved in that. What bothers me, and I don't know if you've seen the trend here, the track about businesses, private businesses that either try and stay open on Christmas or that do shut down. I do find it troubling to me that a lot of, I don't know, and we've seen the trend of where everybody tries to shut down, then everybody tries to stay open, and we kind of go back and forth with the fads of the day, whatever. But I don't know, if you're not part of the emergency personnel, the first responders, that sort of thing, I have a really hard time with seeing a business want to stay open for the late bloomer and for the last minute individual who just needs to go out and get a can of soda on Christmas Day. That really bothers me that that some people expect that, and for people to be away from their family just because you couldn't go and get your soda the day before. I don't know. It bothers me a lot.
Well, if I had one of those little dingers that you'd like to ring a lot, I would ding it right now.
Yeah, see, here we go.
I agree with you completely. There you go. That's it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, businesses, I guess, have their own choice to do what they will. But at the same time, if you have that option, I mean, why stay open? I don't know. It just it's one of those things that really bothers me. But you're right. The first responders, emergency personnel, they have to, because that's their duty. That's what they do, and we appreciate that very, very much. And it's really cool that your family, it's really both of them, that they were able to actually get that day off, and you could do one big celebration in that sense. So as you mentioned, though, after that, every other day, operational business as usual throughout the rest of this week. Yeah. Now next week on Tuesday with New Year's Day closed again. But the rest of it, hey, we're back at it, ready to go. 2019 is going to be a heck of a year, Jim.
We have a lot going on in terms of we've got some interesting things coming up with that. Also, you might remember the discussion of the admin building. Mm-hmm. The admin building is a great big discussion that we kind of put off until the new commission was seated, which, by the way, was really, I think, a good idea. It's about a $30 million commitment potentially, and it could be even more than that. Who knows? So sure. we just didn't want to do that in a lame duck session. We kind of got busy with this. About the last 6 months, and it got to be where I was just uncomfortable. We said, let's push this off. This is not the right time with the election going on and all of that. So we pushed it off, and so we're going to probably start that back up in looks like February this year. We're going to start that discussion back up again. We've got a pretty big request from the zoo, so we'll be looking at that in January. In terms of things I think you went to this last year, but on the 9th of, I believe it's the 9th, that is correct. On the 9th of January, there is it's a public forum where the legislators will all come together from the South Central area.
Yes.
And the public gets to speak to them all kind of as a group there in the county courthouse. And that'll happen in the evening of the 9th. I believe that's correct. That is correct. Evening of January the 9th. And I believe that the forum starts, I think, at 7 o'clock. Now
that is going to be a fun one.
Need to verify.
That will be fun. Because
you've come to that in the past.
I came last year. Last year was the first time I came, and last year it was the rabble-rousers that showed up with the signs wanting to really cause a scene, wanting to push for the Medicaid expansion, urging all of our legislators to expand the Medicaid in Kansas, and I went up and, yes, I did address the legislators and told them not to. And then, of course, I got the dirty looks the rest of the night from the rest of the crowd. So that was entertaining. That was fun. So I will be looking forward to doing that again this year, because now that we have a Democrat governor, you can imagine these people are going to be even more fired up and rallied, and they're going to show up en masse again. So we get to have a little fun again. Let's stir the pot. Come on.
I think you need to start writing that speech now, because it's going to be a lot of fun. What a great opportunity.
Yeah,
we do have the next day at WSU, which is the 10th of January, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there is and I think anybody can go to this. It's a public meeting. It's an open meeting, but it's at WSU at the Radican Center, which is their student center. There is a large meeting that happens with all of the South Central delegation. Lots of the local electeds will also attend that, and there's lots of speeches and requests from local government to the legislators. So Sedgwick County will be talking to them about our legislative platform, as well as the Wichita Chamber will do the same thing. Just a number of, there's people from education, so the school board will come and ask them for that. Some people call this the Beggar's Ball, but we'll be there. It'll be fun to watch that, and so that'll be on the 10th of January. And then the other things happen after that is, of course, we have our swearing-in ceremony. Our oath of office ceremony happens on Sunday the 13th at 2 p.m., where we say goodbye. Actually, we don't say goodbye. The last two commissioners their last meeting will be on the 9th of January, that Wednesday.
Okay.
But then the following Wednesday is the first meeting with the new commissioners. But that 13th, the day between there, the Sunday the 13th, we have our oath of office ceremony. And, of course, it's a public open meeting at the courthouse at 2 p.m., and I hope people might want to come to that. So those are some of the events we have on the schedule. Other than that, it's just a lot of change right now. And I think when you get to about the middle of January, as they say, hang on to your hat.
Sure.
I expect we'll see a lot of change. Last 2 years ago, it seems like the commissioners came in with the intent to unwind many of the decisions that the previous, decisions of Carl Peter John, Richard Ranjaw, and Jim Howell. They came in with the intent to address some of those. A number of those decisions did get reversed.
Sure.
And so we'll see if that happens again. It seems like every 2 years we have the opportunity for a slightly different political makeup that wants to go backwards and kind of undo things. We even see this the state level. Laura Kelly's going to come in, and she's focused on brownback. To do things to eliminate the brownback experiment and all that. And so she is addressing things that she feels like have just gone the wrong direction. So I say in the State House, hang on to your hat.
Sure.
Same thing is going to happen here. So we'll see. It'll surely be an interesting start of our next term. So I guess I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. We'll have our first Democrat woman there for quite a while. It'll be interesting to see how that the dynamics of that changes the commission. So anyway, a lot to look forward to.
It is. It's going to be a fun year, as I mentioned. I'm looking forward to 2019, both at the state level, here at the county, with the radio station, with the show. I mean, there's so many things are going to happen. And as you mentioned, even here locally, just the beginning of January, it's going to kick off fast, hard, and strong. And we better brace ourselves, because if we're going to be involved in it in any way, shape, or form, then let's get ready to go and make this happen starting really the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be an absolute blast. Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim Howell, running out of time, my friend. But Merry Christmas to you. I'm glad you had a wonderful one. All the family got to go and actually enjoy with you guys. We will chat with you again next Wednesday. You'll be the very first guest of 2019. We're excited about this.
Ooh, all right.
Hey,
That's
there we
wonderful.
go.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Hey, I love it, Jim. Always a pleasure. Merry Christmas to you. We'll talk again next week.
All right, thanks, Andy. Merry Christmas again.
Merry Christmas to you. Got to take a break. 10 minutes at the top of the hour. Your phone calls when we come back. We'll do another little bit of year in review on what's coming up for 2019. We'll talk about some of the government shutdown, the bump stock ban, plus Laura Kelly, governor-elect, has come out with her talks of a budget for the state. That's entertaining. We'll do all that when we come back. Your phone calls as well right here on The Voice of Reason.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Live cattle futures were steady to 40 cents higher on a holiday-shortened Monday with low holiday volume. Feeder cattle futures were steady to 65 cents higher. The CME Feeder Cattle Index was up $1.24 December 21st at 147.13. The USDA did not report wholesale prices due to the partial government shutdown. Cash trade last week was mostly $190 dressed and $119 live. There will be no auctions this week due to the holiday. And there is a winter storm coming through the plains into the Midwest, and that has the potential to disrupt some movement. So we'll see how things shake out as we go through the remainder of this week. Lean hog futures posted 12 to 85 cent losses in most contracts Monday. The lean hog index was down 78 cents from the previous day at 53.87 on December 20th. The USDA pork carcass cutout value is at $71.32 back Friday afternoon. The national base hog carcass value was a weighted average of 44.07 on a Friday. Last week's estimated federally inspected hog slaughter was huge at 2.737 million head. Refocusing now on corn, soybeans, and wheat. Corn futures not trading at the moment, still shut down for the holiday. We'll be back in business at the open at 8:30. The U.S. dollar index higher this morning. The stock market, as measured by the S&P, is off its early lows. Soybean futures, again, not trading. They went home Christmas Eve with most contracts fractionally lower. And wheat futures are not trading. They will, as we said, resume at 8:30 this morning after the holiday break. They rallied late on Monday to close with most contracts steady to 3 cents higher. And so we'll see how things shake out as we begin the day today after the Christmas holiday break. Things begin at 8:30 this morning at the usual time, and markets will be back in business then. Market information from Mid-America Ag Network.
Winners don't wait for chances. They take them, seizing opportunities that come their way, having the courage necessary to make the game-winning play when it's all on the line. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Your home for K-State Wildcat basketball is right here on the K-State Sports Network.
It's your Kansas State Wildcats at home against George Mason on Saturday. Tip-off at 7 p.m., pregame at 6 p.m. right here on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Don't miss more ways to save on a new Bobcat compact track loader at White Star Machinery. Choose a cash rebate up to $10,000 or take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months with no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Put built tough, priced right Bobcat equipment to work and get peace of mind with our 2-year, $2,000 full warranty. Why wait? Start saving today. Check it out on our website, whitestarmachinery.com.
White Star, get the job done.
Matt Jarvis and the crew at MJ's Truck Repair of Mound Ridge, Kansas want to take this opportunity to wish you the merriest of Christmases and the most prosperous of New Years. Kansas' largest independent big truck and trailer service center between Wichita and Salina, MJ's Truck Repair looks forward to serving you in the new year, keeping you rolling worry-free. At exit 46 off I-135 under the big American flag in Mound Ridge, Kansas, MJ's Truck Repair, wishing you the best of the holiday season.
My friend, you can find out why Pizza John's is the pizza of choice in Derby for over 44 years. Pizza John's in Derby, the original purveyors of round meals and flat snacks, is more than pizza. Lunches include salad, spaghetti, complete with garlic bread. And Pizza John's of Derby is the hoagie headquarters of South Central Kansas. Dine in or carry out. Delivery after 5 p.m. by simply calling 788-2011 or quick and easy online at pizzajohnderby.com. Pizza John's.
Can you believe the year is almost over? Mike here at Rusty Eck Ford. Year-end for us is a big sale for you, and nobody does a year-end sale better than us. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud of this sale. Check this out. Pick out your new Ford and make no payments till 2020. That's right. You drive it for a year, no payments. Get a new F-150 Rusty Eck Ford truck with no payments till 2020. A new car, no payments for a year. A new SUV, it's 2020 before a payment is due. But the sale ends on 12/31. Hey, you can have a happy new car and make no payments for a year. Come see us today for the year-end sale before the year ends. Only at Rusty Eck Ford in Wichita. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud. Dealer retains rebates, Ford credit, interest accrued from date of sale. All negative equity paid in full. Max payment assistance up to $500 cannot be combined with any other offers.
Larry Elder, weekend mornings here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 1025 FM KQAM.
minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason, hour number 2, wrapping up here. Hour number 3, right around the corner. We got lots more to talk about. One bit of good news as we get into the new session 2019 is Congressman-elect Steve Watkins from the 2nd Congressional District has made his announcement of who's going to be part of his team and bringing on many members of outgoing Congresswoman Lynn Jenkins and from her administration, and kind of partnering up with them and making them continue on with his administration to keep things running smooth. That's good news. That's good news. Jim Joyce, formerly working with Mark Hutton, gubernatorial candidate from the primaries, is going to be working with him as well. We're going to try and get Steve Watkins on the show again here real soon. We talked to him right before the election, and now that he's doing the transition, it's time for us to chat with him and get an update on what D.C. may look like, and is he prepared for the big battle that they're going to have with the Democrats? Will we be able to open up the government again, or will the government be shut down for a while? I don't know. It's going to be a fun one with the turmoil that they say that Donald Trump is in because he doesn't know how to govern and he doesn't know what he's doing. Then maybe the government shutdown will be a lot longer. I don't really care. Doesn't make any sense to me. And let's just let it roll. Let it fly, baby. But it is good news. Steve Watkins, as he's working on his transition, using a lot of the same support staff that Lynn Jenkins did. And that could be some good news. Now, Lynn Jenkins, not the most conservative, but at the same time was a Republican, got the job done, and in a very blue or very purple district like the 2nd District, had to kind of play the fence a little bit at times. I understand it. I don't always agree with what she did, but at the same time, I understood it. If you saw the vote that happened in that 2nd District, Steve Watkins was down to Paul Davis the majority of the night in the election and then squeaked through right at the end. So it's a very close district. It's a very purple district, and he's going to have to play the fence on some issues. There were concerns about him not being very conservative, especially in the pro-life issues. He's assured us on this show numerous times that he is very pro-life, he is very pro-Second Amendment. He wants to work with Donald Trump. He wants to promote a conservative Republican agenda, so he's going to do what he can. And we will continue to get him on the show and hold him to that as we can on the program as well. But working with Jim Joyce and with the former Lynn Jenkins administration, I'm excited to see what they're going to come out with and how loud of a voice he's going to have when he gets up to Washington, D.C. Maybe he can override the loud voice of AOC. What do you think? Maybe, just maybe. Got to wrap up hour number 2. Lots more coming up. This is The Voice of Reason. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hour number 3, The Voice of Reason, coming up. Happy post-Christmas on a Wednesday. Stay right here.
At Starseed, we're dedicated to providing our customers premium quality products and the sudden service they deserve. We've offered a diverse lineup of high-yielding seed for decades. We pride ourselves on flexibility, promptness, and superior products. Starseed is the one stop for all of your seed needs. Don't forget to ask about our custom blend packages. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at gostarseed.com.
Whether it's your home or your business, from roofing to foundation repair, Romani Construction of Wichita makes the process of construction or home and business improvement easy. Romani Construction involves you in the process from concept to completion. Better Business Bureau accredited, Romani Construction specializes in roofing, fire and water restoration, foundation repair, and concrete, and is locally owned and operated. From setting a start date when things actually get started to completing your project on time, call Romani Construction of Wichita, 252-7972.
This is a Steckline Communication Station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Augusta Flight Center, with the largest and most diverse fleet of rental aircraft in central Kansas. Learn more at iflyaugusta.com.
Good Wednesday morning. A woman in critical condition after a rollover accident in northwest Sedgwick County at around 3:15 yesterday afternoon. Sedgwick County Sheriff's deputies say an 18-year-old female traveling with her 10-month-old boy in an SUV rolled her vehicle near the intersection of North 279th Street West and 85th Street North. Cake TV reports it is believed she was attempting to pass another vehicle and overcorrected, causing her SUV to lose control. The mother transported to the hospital in critical condition, and authorities say the baby only had minor injuries. No names immediately released. A man was seriously injured on Christmas Eve while he was trying to change a tire on the highway near I-135 and K-96. The Kansas Highway Patrol said that on Christmas Eve afternoon, 61-year-old Robert Jorbert was the driver of a truck that collided with the rear end of a van parked on the right shoulder of the road. Authorities say 21-year-old Bryce Grossman was underneath the van retrieving a spare tire when the van was hit from behind, causing it to come down on him. Grossman was initially unresponsive and was last reported in serious condition. The KHP still investigating why Jorbert failed to maintain his lane. Wichita Fire Department says smoke detectors likely saved 3 lives at a home near 13th and West Street on Christmas Eve when fire broke out. Firefighters say that all 3 were able to escape the fire Monday morning at around 6 o'clock safely. Damage to the home was extensive. The Arc of Sedgwick County is asking the public's help in tracking down the person who stole power lines from some light displays. The nonprofit organization says the theft happened around 2:30 Saturday morning and that the thief cut power lines to the tunnel, shine tree, and mega trees. A police report was filed, and anyone who has any information about the crime is asked to contact police. Thanks to generous volunteers, the Arc of Sedgwick County's lights were able to be repaired and back on as usual. I'm Rick Everett with news. Now Doug Downs with sports.
In the last 2 games, the Kansas City Chiefs have had the opportunity to get it done, win the AFC, and get the top seed out of the AFC, but they have failed to do so with back-to-back losses for the first time this season. Now, Sunday, the Chiefs have their final shot against the Oakland Raiders, a team that's playing much better. Coach Andy Reid says the margin for error in the NFL is very slim.
In this league, it's that close, the margin between winning and losing. So we just got to straighten a couple things out, and then we'll be okay.
The Chiefs will get back to the practice field today. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs.
The end of 2018 will be here before you know it. What are you wearing? Life gets away from us sometimes, like the annual eye exam that your insurance company all but pays for. Waring and Fiegel Optometry at 21st and Tyler is a full-scope professional optometry practice. At Waring and Fiegel Optometry, new patients are welcome. Don't let the benefits of your insurance, let alone the benefits of healthy vision, get away from you. Waring and Fiegel Optometry, 21st and Tyler.
Don't let the season of cheer become the season of scams. Here are a few tips to stay safe from fraud this holiday season from the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Stick to well-known websites when shopping online. Be wary of too good to be true discounts. Use credit, not debit cards. You'll be liable for fewer charges if the card is compromised by a scammer. And make sure your holiday donations go to a real charity. Visit aarp.org/FraudWatchNetwork to learn more.
Celebrate the season with great deals on the world's best-selling off-road lineup during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Get low financing and rebates up to $2,000 on hardworking Rangers, unstoppable sportsmen, versatile Generals, and high-performance racers. See Wichita Tractor today or go online to wichitatractor.com. Offers valid in U.S. through 12/31 of 18, subject to credit approval. Rebates and financing vary by model and year. See dealer for details. Always wear a helmet and never drink and ride.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM. The Russian military says it has successfully tested a new hypersonic glide vehicle. Among a new group of weapons President Vladimir Putin boasts the United States is powerless to intercept. The Avangard missile has intercontinental range. Customs and Border Protection officials say they're conducting medical checks on every child in their custody. This after a second reported death of a minor, an 8-year-old, this month. Democratic U.S. Representative-elect Veronica Escobar of Texas says the U.S. doesn't have the appropriate facilities and personnel at the border.
These tragedies are happening because Congress and the administration have not adequately provided the resources, both in personnel and infrastructure, to adequately take these folks in.
Wall Street investors are warily watching stock futures register some gains this morning with the opening bell just an hour away. The fear is another wild ride downward has happened the last few sessions. Right now, the NASDAQ leading gains up 65. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Propane Central. Residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. Visit them online at propanecentral.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:06, it's currently 52 degrees.
News at the tops and bottoms all day right here on the Big Talker KQAM.
It's time for Reason.
The funding for the state government in 1995 was right around $3 billion. Now it's just over 5. Spending is up around 7. If we've gone up, close to about $2 billion higher above what inflation would be if we would have gone at the rate of inflation. And 60% of our budget is educational funding. That education funding is actually way higher than what inflation is as well.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome into the Voice of Reason, hour number 3 of the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas. On the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are on TV as well, KGPT TV, channel 2610. We are on YouTube Live at youtube.com. Find KQAM Radio. Whatever you want to do, you can watch us, watch the podcast, leave a message. You can email me. You can do whatever you want to. It doesn't really matter. Welcome in. Great to have you along today on a Wednesday, the post-Christmas. It feels like a Monday, though. So let's get you started like a Monday. It's after the holiday. You may be dragging a little bit. You have a short week. Don't worry about it. We'll help you get going right here on The Voice of Reason, because that's just what we do.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
There it is, 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. If you want to join in, we'd love to hear from you today. Open lines to you this hour. Chit in the chat, advancing conservatism even during the time of the holidays, even during the time of the government shutdown, during the times when you may be very concerned that you don't know whether you're alive or not, you don't know whether you're functioning or not, because the government's not there to tell you that you're okay, because they're continuously at odds. Donald Trump coming out with a message, a Christmas message, him and Melania yesterday. Don't know if you saw that one.
Melania and I are truly thrilled to wish every American a very Merry Christmas.
During the Christmas season, we rejoice in God's many blessings. We come together with family and friends to spread hope, love, compassion, cheer, and goodwill. And we remember the events of one holy night more than 2,000 years ago.
At this time of year, Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. This wonderful season brings out the best in the American spirit. And we see neighbors helping neighbors and communities lifting up those who need a helping hand. We see citizens laying wreaths at the graves of our fallen heroes. We see children bringing joy to our senior citizens. And we see Americans of all ages caring for people in need. We reflect on the splendor of God's creation and the sacred ties that bind us all together.
This Christmas, we salute the brave men and women who serve our nation overseas. We send our love to the military families whose sacrifice helps keep our nation free. We give thanks to the law enforcement officers who protect our communities. And we pray for a future of peace on earth.
On behalf of the entire Trump family, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very, very Happy New Year.
See, that's a good message right there. That came out yesterday. President Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and I don't remember a president making a message like that. Very religious, very holiday festive, very uniting, very warming, welcoming. It's something that we needed. And I think it was very important to do, especially during the time of a government shutdown, when he's looking at trying to win over the public support, saying, hey, look, all I want to do, all I want for Christmas is a border on my wall. I mean, that's all we need right now. Let's get it funded. We're in the middle of the debates. The Democrats don't want to fund this. Apparently, $5 billion in a $3 trillion budget is not enough. Or it's too much. We can't spend it. We can't do that. No, we don't want to build the wall. We don't want to fund the border. We don't want border security. We don't want any of that stuff. They're going to come back apparently on Friday and start reconvening to discuss this, whether it's going to go into the new session with the new legislators or not. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, though? But look, I mean, we already had our Christmas gift. The Christmas gift was the fact that 25% of the government was affected by a government shutdown. We didn't have the government breathing down our backs when we celebrated Christmas. To me, that's a Christmas celebration. Yes, all I want for Christmas is to build a wall on our border. That's all I want for Christmas. Can it happen? Can we do it? Can we really? That'd be kind of fun. Open lines to you at 316-721-8255. Let's go to the phones here. Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Steve.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm excellent. I've called you a few times, Andy.
Yeah.
It is very, very simple. On the government, take the government out of all the New York Stock Exchange. If they have a government contract, they're no longer allowed into the New York Stock Exchange. Mm-hmm. That'll save a whole lot of time and trouble. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, or all of the aircraft companies have money invested in missiles, and when he pulled them out of Syria, they lost money. And
sure.
Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, and as they panic about the stock market crashing right now and it going down, and right now this is the worst December that we've seen since like 1932 during the Great Depression and all this other horrible stuff that everybody's all worked up about, we got to remember that you're right. If we got the government out of the stock market altogether and the stock exchange, we wouldn't have to worry about the government bubbles that happen, then we would actually have a streamlined stock market to where we wouldn't have the bubbles and the self-corrections as much. And we could actually see things work out. We could have a private market, a freedom, laissez-faire capitalist society to where the businesses create products that the consumers actually want to purchase instead of the government-regulated products that, they think that the people want when they don't really want them. And then maybe we could actually see a stock market grow naturally without government intrusion. What do you think?
That would be the easiest route to go.
Man.
I'd say it's very simple. It's very, very simple.
It's very simple. They wouldn't want to do that, though, because then they'd have to get rid of their whole quantitative easing and printing money and injecting it with omnibus bills and spending money and regulating the private sector. I mean, they just don't like to lose that control, Steve. They don't like that.
That's a whole lot of it is losing the power.
Little by little. I love it. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Appreciate the phone call. We always love hearing from you very much. Let's go back to it. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Wallace.
Wallace, good morning, sir. How are you?
I suffer from a ham hangover.
Ooh, a ham hangover. I like it. Now, was the ham, was it like a glazed ham? Because that's my favorite. The honey glaze, I will eat that every single day of the year if I could.
Yes, it was.
That's what I'm talking about.
Half cup of brown sugar, half cup of maple syrup, half cup of, there was something else. Honey. A little bit of Dijon mustard and some pepper, and you inject it and baste that thing every 20 minutes. And
yes,
I tell you, the only thing that cures a ham hangover is ham and eggs the next morning.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That is the ultimate. Oh man! Now see, the wife, she made the turkey this year, like we did with Thanksgiving, where she being the Native American she is, she likes to throw in these berries, these juniper berries and the leaves, and then she soaked it in red wine for 3 days, and it was a turkey that was so moist, it just fell off the bone. It was the most delicious, flavorful, moist turkey I've ever had in my life.
I heard you talking about that earlier. I can imagine the alcohol probably kind of breaks down the proteins a little bit and makes it real tender. And we also had a turkey. I did a turkey as well.
Hey.
And yesterday I had the meat sweat sitting at the table. I was so ashamed of myself. I ate so much meat.
You know what? The environmentals will absolutely despise you. PETA will absolutely probably protest at your door, and you know what? You'll never be able to get some restless time again.
That's all right. But so we had another Guatemalan kid die in Border Patrol's custody.
Yes.
And so, that in and of itself is sad. Nobody wants to see a kid die. But I sat there and I thought to myself, so a Guatemalan kid died when he received, government, sponsored health care. being in the Border Patrol's custody, that's socialized medicine.
Sure.
But then I got to thinking, in Guatemala, apparently no children die from being sick ever.
No, they
in Guatemala.
don't. No.
And how many veterans died yesterday waiting in lines, committed suicide because they can't get mental health? Did 250,000 people in this country die every year because of medical mistakes? How many people go to the hospital because they're sick and die anyway? People die even when you go to hospitals.
But remember, if we had universal health care and the government controlled all of the healthcare industry, no one would die again. And just even with the, 54% of food stamps and social programs going towards non-citizens, then if we just allowed them to have more of it, then the citizens will all of a sudden just fall into the realm as well, to where we could all be taken care of with food stamps and social programs and government health care, and then all of us would live in a happy socialist utopia where everything would be taken care of for us and no one would die ever.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, how many people die in this country? Now, I've seen numbers that suggest somewhere around 1,500 people in this country die at the hand of an illegal, whether it's drunk driving or murder. 1,500 people a year. But CNN, which is where I saw this, headline, they only focus on this one Guatemalan kid because they can stick it to the president like it's his fault the kid got sick.
Sure. Well, it is probably his fault. I mean, they ripped on him for the fact that the child died at the border the same way that Donald Trump apparently told a 7-year-old girl on Christmas Eve that it was interesting that she still believed in Santa Claus and she still set out the milk and cookies.
Really?
Because, you didn't see the story from Cake TV. That he made the comment to where she may be getting a little too old to believe in Santa Claus, and she stuck it to him because she knows what's going on, and she rebelled against President Trump, and she still put out milk and cookies on Christmas Eve, and the media had to report that story to show that even 7-year-olds are standing up to Donald Trump.
Well,
I mean, come on, that's a story everybody needs to know.
We got typhoid Trump. Is that what it is now? He's out there spreading disease to all the illegal immigrants.
There it is. Crushing the children's dreams about Santa Claus and killing them at the border. That's just the way Donald Trump rolls, apparently. Wallace, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Always a pleasure to talk to you. 316-721-8255. It is. Donald Trump is pretty much a dream crusher and a baby killer. That's what they're going to call him. I'm not joking. They go after him that way. That's what they're going to say in the next media reports. Crushing dreams of little children, innocent little children, and letting innocent children die at the border because he won't just bring them all in. That's what the story is going to be about. The government shutdown led to the lack of services at the border to take care of individuals, and that he's so angst of building the wall and actually wanting border security that he let children die at the border. Between that and crushing dreams of Santa Claus to 7-year-old girls, he's pretty much a heartless jerk. What do you think? 316-721-8255. Line number 2 or 3. I'm sorry. Let's go back to this here. Good morning. What's your name?
Andy.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Is it safe?
It's safe. It's a safe space. You are good to go. What you got?
The government shutdown. I noticed everything yesterday was closed, but Quick Trip. Is there anything out there that's open?
I don't know. I don't know. We may have to wait for the government to tell us what's open and not open, or even if we're still here or not, because we may not be here. We may think we're here, but we may not be here because the government's not here to tell us about us not being here. I don't know.
Oh, man.
This is where we are. And you know what? It is good news. I think a lot of things were shut down yesterday, but we needed funding for the government so they could be shut down on a paid leave instead of a furloughed leave. What do you think?
Hey, you know what? They can stay closed for all of next year, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It saves us a lot of money.
Well, we need to fund those non-essential personnel.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm trying to think. Did I watch any news yesterday? If I did, it was very little. And it wasn't national news. But I heard something about the government shutdown, right? And like all of this media lamenting for federal employees and how they're not getting paid. And, it's like, oh, my God, the end of the world. No, that place was a ghost town before Christmas even hit and before the government shut down. Yeah. And those guys are going to get back pay. So, And this government somebody's going to cave. This thing won't go on a month, and somebody's going to cave, but I bet you it won't be the president.
Well, I hope it's not the president. And this is one of our listeners said it earlier in the show, is that this is his read my lips moment, to where if he caves, he loses the 2020 reelection because he lost his base and he caved on the big issue that he got elected on. He will not cave on this one. He will let it go, and we'll have to find some type of compromise. And the Democrats will finally, for the first time in a very long time, actually have to admit that they're compromising and giving in, and will have to do something, because I don't think he will. I hope he doesn't. We'll just see how long this lasts. I don't know.
I don't think he'll cave either, but stranger things have happened. So I also got to say that I'm hoping and praying that he doesn't, because, if to lose his supporters and us lose the election over one issue like that would be a tragedy for the country, and the stakes are too high for that.
Sure. I get it. I'm right there with you. Sean, you have a great Christmas?
Do what?
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I had a good Christmas.
Good.
Anytime I survive Christmas, I'm alive for the day, and I end the day alive. That's a good Christmas for me anymore.
That's a good day right there. I like it, Sean. Well, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Always a pleasure, and we enjoy it very much. Got to take a break here. 22 minutes past the hour. Open lines to you when we come back. We got lots more to get to. We'll try and sneak in some of the state stuff. There is Kansas news actually going on. If not, I do want to spend some quality time on it tomorrow as well. We still are kind of in that mode where we kind of float from one holiday to the next. You're kind of half doing the work this week because you're ready for another holiday on Monday and Tuesday next week. I get it. It's a shorter week, even though it is a Wednesday. Let's keep it rolling. Let's advance conservatism, be aware of the world around us today, because we cannot forget, we cannot turn away, we cannot ignore it, because it continues on whether we like it or not. Got to take a break. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
Thanks for checking out my video. I do appreciate the time you take out of your life to go on YouTube.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
I'll see you later.
My show isn't just about left and right, Democrats versus Republicans, liberals fighting conservatives. The Mike Gallagher Show is about life, family, friends, how you're going to pay for your kids' college, what information you need to get that promotion, how do you help your fellow man. It's also about standing up to power, whether that's the senator who's handing out favors to big donors or the race hustlers who divide us. Follow The Mike Gallagher Show at Facebook or Twitter at Radio Talker Mike, and online at MikeOnline.com. It's The Mike Gallagher Show.
Mike Gallagher on the Big Talker, KQAM, 1480 AM and 1025 FM.
Now that all the presents are opened, let's take a look at the top things to buy right now, the day after Christmas. Kim Commander with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update. Okay, if you're an organized shopper, the first thing to stockpile right now are Christmas wrapping and holiday decorations for next year. Online stores and retail stores are blowing out whatever's left over at rock-bottom prices. And while you may think that Black Friday has the best electronic deals right now, big screen televisions and sound systems are going on sale to clear out current inventory, to make room for the newest and latest models that are about to be unveiled in just a few days at the gigantic Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. You see, the drill each year is for stores to unload last year's models at low prices because they have to free up shelf space. And yes, the latest televisions will have a few new features, but it's not enough to make what you buy today totally obsolete. Get all the breaking tech news updated all the time at news.commando.com. That's Komando. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. You need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
What's the perfect gift this holiday season? A set of Boll & Branch sheets. Boll & Branch sheets are made from pure organic cotton, making them the softest and most comfortable sheets in the world. Giving a thoughtful gift has never been easier. Right now, Boll & Branch is offering $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping when you use promo code KIM. That's $50 off plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com, spelled BOLL and branch.com, promo code KIM.
Can you believe the year is almost over? Mike here at Rusty Eck Ford. Year-end for us is a big sale for you, and nobody does a year-end sale better than us. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud of this sale. Check this out. Pick out your new Ford and make no payments till 2020. That's right. You drive it for a year, no payments. Get a new F-150 Rusty Eck Ford truck with no payments till 2020. A new car, no payments for a year. A new SUV, it's 2020 before a payment is due. But the sale ends on 12/31. Hey, you can have a happy new car and make no payments for a year. Come see us today for the year-end sale before the year ends. Only at Rusty Eck Ford in Wichita. We're Rusty Eck Ford proud. Dealer retains rebates, Ford credit, interest accrued from date of sale. All negative equity paid in full. Max payment assistance up to $500 cannot be combined with any other offers.
The Miller Minute with Dennis Miller.
I want to talk about 2020. I realize our next presidential election is just over 22 months away, but believe it or not, election season's already here. Must feel like the 2016 election never ended, because it didn't. Democrats haven't been able to go a day without talking about how they inexplicably lost to someone like Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the rest of us still can't believe they ran someone like Hillary Clinton, a candidate whose issues were only rivaled by her old man's issues. Democrats are no doubt determined to not make the same mistakes that Hillary did, which shouldn't be hard from whoever is courageous enough to set foot in the state of Wisconsin. Whoever they end up with, it better be their best hope if they're as determined to not see President Trump reelected as their every waking moment indicates they are. It won't be impeachment, resignation, or the 25th Amendment. The only way they can get rid of Trump is to win an election. Fairly, if they still believe in that sort of thing. That's the Minute. I'm Dennis Smith. If you or a loved one struggles with leg or foot cramps, you've got to try TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast. And with daily use, TheraWorks Relief can even prevent muscle cramps, so you can get a full night's sleep or do activities you love without worry. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or at TheraWorksRelief.com.
This Christmas, the Salvation Army is fighting to ensure that every child in our community is warm, safe, and well-nourished. For $30, you could feed a family of 4 for a week. For $150, you could feed a meal to 150 children in need. The Salvation Army provides over 9 million nights of shelter to people in need in the U.S. Help the Salvation Army fight for those in need all over our community this holiday season by donating at salvationarmy.listenandgive.org.
Gun Talk, Sundays 2 to 5, right here on the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM.
Yeah! 29 minutes past the hour. We got to take a bottom of the hour break in just a minute here, but appreciate all the phone calls. Let's keep it rolling. Open lines to you for this hour as we start wrapping up a Christmas holiday, start getting ready for the New Year's stuff, and big news happening all across the board here in Kansas and the federal government. The headlines, according to Drudge Report right now, President said that, the government shutdown will last until we have the wall. I love this headline. Republican allies still trying to figure out how to read Trump. Here's how you read him. You listen to what he said. We will keep the government shut down until we have a wall. That's what you do. So Republicans, you should probably get on board with supporting the wall. That's how you do it. That's how you read him. There's no hidden agenda there. There's no, look, he may not be the politician like you, to where you say something and then you do something else. Maybe those days are just about over. Got to take a break. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
Russia says it has successfully tested a missile system that can carry nuclear and conventional warheads. President Vladimir Putin said the missiles can reach almost anywhere in the world. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it will do medical checks on every child in its custody. The announcement following the death on Christmas Eve of a second child in CBP detention. Correspondent Nick Valencia.
It was on Monday, according to a CBP release, that one of their agents noticed that this 8-year-old Guatemalan boy was suffering. His condition had seemed to worsen in the time that he was in their care.
A large part of the country is going to get a lot of snow over the next few days, says meteorologist Jennifer Gray.
Blizzard conditions are possible from southern Colorado all the way up through the upper Midwest, northern points of North Dakota, Minnesota, where we could see a foot to a foot and a half of snow.
This is the first full business day since parts of the federal government shut down at midnight on Friday. I'm Christopher Cruz.
The national debt is now over $20 trillion. What happens next? Rising inflation drops in the dollar's value. Some experts say another crash is coming. You can fight this, not with stocks or bonds, but with gold and silver coins in an IRA from Augusta Precious Metals. Call 855-858-5807 and learn how an IRA backed by physical gold and silver can hedge against inflation. Call Augusta Precious Metals right now at 855-858-5807 and get a free gold IRA guide. Call 855-858-5807.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Wednesday. Democratic Governor-elect Laura Kelly will have the current superintendent of the Kansas Highway Patrol and the state fire marshal stay in their jobs after she takes office. Kelly has announced that Colonel Mark Bruce will continue leading the Kansas Highway Patrol and Doug Jorgensen will continue serving as the state's chief fire safety official. Both men were appointees of former Republican Governor Sam Brownback, with Bruce being Highway Patrol Superintendent since 2015 and Jorgensen being Fire Marshal since July of 2012. You may want to stock up on those forever stamps because in about a month, the cost of mailing a letter will jump more than it ever has by a nickel, from 50 to 55 cents. The change takes effect January 27th. On a positive note, the rate for each additional ounce over one actually goes down. Mid-America Network News.
At Starseed, we realize every farmer and rancher has a passion for conservation, which is why we offer conservation seeds. This season, let Starseed assist with your CRP, buffers, waterways, roadside projects, and any wildlife project you have in mind. Starseed works closely with landowners, dealers, and government agencies to ensure the best quality seed for all of your conservation needs. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at GoStarseed.com.
Riverside Cafe, whether it's the two Wichita locations or in Derby, is proud of their all-day breakfast. It's what's helped to make Riverside Cafe famous. And now for you early birds, from 6 to 9, you can pick any four for just $4. Sausage link, hash browns, slice of bacon, 3 silver dollar pancakes, quarter biscuit with gravy, a sausage patty, slice of buttered toast, any four, only $4. From 6 to 9 every morning. Pick 4 for $4 at Riverside Cafe, 9125 West Central and 13th and Benning in Wichita, and 824 North Baltimore in Derby.
Whether by themselves or in a group, deer are a problem this time of year.
They're waiting, they're hiding, and plotting.
Don't let the lone kamikaze or Bambi and his friends take out your truck.
Give your truck the protection it needs and deserves with a grill guard from Continental Truck Accessories. We have what you need to protect your investment, your pride, and joy.
Your truck will be looking sharp and have the upper hand. So stop by our showroom at 6701 South Broadway today.
Or call
Continental Truck Accessories
for all your truck accessory needs.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, showers and possibly a storm, high around 54, winds up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, showers and possibly a storm, low around 46 with still gusty winds. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow, high near 50. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:35, it's currently 52 degrees.
Join your digital pro every Sunday at 11. The Kim Commando Show on the Big Talker, KQAM. fastest growing radio show in Kansas.
What? How's he do that?
That's what I'm talking about.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome into it. 36 minutes past the hour. It is the Voice of Reason. I am Andy Hoosier. It's an honor to have you along for the ride today on a Wednesday, the post-Christmas Wednesday. It feels like a Monday after an extended holiday week, or a couple of days at least. But hey, you know what? You can coast through this week. You got the holiday again next week, so you got 3 days. Let's get her done. Let's get some stuff, and let's enjoy the holiday coming up this weekend again. What do you say? 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. It is open lines to you for the rest of the program here for the last half hour. I did find quite comical, according to KWCH, this story here. Atheist group pays for billboard, urges people to skip church on Christmas. Western Colorado atheists and free thinkers paid for a new billboard that reads, "Make Christmas Great Again, skip church." It's been up since December 19th. Group members say that they bought the space. They feel like atheists are in the minority in Mesa County. They're kind of the minority across the entire nation, but, you know, it's cool. Where the billboard is located, they think the focus of the holiday season should be on respect for everyone. Now, look, we have respect for everyone, and you can celebrate the holidays any way that you want to. I don't really care how you celebrate your holidays. You can go to church, you can stay at home, you can go to family, you can go party. I don't really care. It makes no difference to me in any way, shape, or form how you celebrate your holiday. But this is what they do. Just put the little jab in, just to spite others, to go out of their way to try and offend others because, well, you know what? They find it offensive that we do whatever we want to do. And that to them is just not okay. They hate it. They hate when we can actually, again, I said this on Monday, but back in the day, you would say Merry Christmas to somebody, and if they were like Jewish, they come back and be like, "Oh, thanks. Well, Happy Hanukkah to you," because they celebrated Hanukkah. And then you put your wishes of your celebration and your holiday onto them and onto you, and everybody was happy. If you were an atheist and you didn't support it, you would just say, as a respectful individual, say, "Thanks, happy holidays." Or you would just say it back because you respect other people's cultures. Are you saying, atheists and progressives, that Christmas offends you so much that now you aren't accepting of other people's beliefs, cultures, and religions? Is that what you're saying? Because you would think that if you're accepting of other cultures, religions, and practices, that if you're an atheist and someone said Merry Christmas because they were a practicing Christian, then you would just say that back to them because you respected their culture. You would think if someone came up and during a Muslim holiday and would say whatever a Muslim holiday is to you, that you would be very respectful of that and be like, "Oh, thanks, I don't celebrate it, but happy so and so forth to you as well." Because that's a respectful thing to do. I would do that if a Muslim came up to me and said, "Oh, hey, happy whatever." And I said, "Okay, thanks. Happy that back to you. I don't practice it. I don't know anything about it, but happy back to you. I'm glad that makes you happy. I'm glad you get to celebrate that." If there's a Hindu religion to where they think where the cow is going to say something very special today, I don't believe that. I think that it would make a little bit better hamburger than it would, a vocalist, but you never know. So I would say, you know what? Happy so and so forth to you. All the power to you. That's great. That's called respect. And that's something the progressives on the left side of the aisle just don't have today, is respect. Because if you don't agree with them, then you're the bigot. Right? You're the closed-minded jerk that's not accepting of everyone else. So I just find it kind of interesting. They make this Make Christmas Great Again, skip church. Don't go to church on a religious holiday that was based on a religious celebration, and let's do it as on a different type of religion like we talked about Monday and Friday was the whole paganism, and make it winter solstice or winter holiday instead, so that way we can celebrate the weather and we can celebrate the different seasons, and we can celebrate it that way because that's totally not a religious thing in any way, shape, or form as well, is it? 316-721-8255. The progressives going out of their way. And if they want to waste their own money, then all the power to them. Do you think, show of hands, that it stopped anybody who wanted to go to church on Christmas? Did it stop them from going to church on Christmas? Pretty sure it didn't. Pretty sure it didn't. So they wasted their money. They felt really good about themselves, and then it didn't really affect anything except for them just wasting their time and money. It's kind of like voting libertarian. See what I did there? Let's go to the phones. 316-721-8255, line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Ray.
Hey, good morning, Ray. How you doing?
Oh, I'm having a good old time.
Hey, very good. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. I drove around yesterday looking for the local atheist food bank, and I couldn't find it.
You didn't find one?
No, and then I went looking around for aid for women with children. I couldn't find it. The atheists, they're very good at hiding their humanity.
Well, yeah, but religion destroys people, and religious people don't actually take care of people. We need to remove the religion.
That's right, the Salvation Army and everybody.
Yeah, that's right. You know, those Christian food banks that actually help homeless people and poor people, and, that bring in the homeless mother and children and that sort of thing. Yeah, I thought that religion destroyed people, didn't actually help people. What's the matter with you?
Well, and then I looked for the church where the atheists go and sit around and think of nothing. I couldn't find it either.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's because we don't know where it's at because we can't think. If they don't believe in it and they don't want to do anything, then it's a place that doesn't exist except for in their mind, and then they can feel really good about themselves. So they were probably in their basement writing blogs about how terrible religion was. That's why you couldn't find them.
I'm sure of that. It's just so safe.
I love it. Yeah. Ray, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Appreciate it very much. You're right. Hey, good point. Hey, maybe they helped out. I don't know. Didn't find them. Didn't see them. We'll keep looking. We'll let you know when we do find them. Let's go back to the phones. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Oh, doing good.
Good.
About the atheists and all that. The thing is, the louder they scream, the greater they make their numbers seem. That's all it is. It's just screaming and to make it seem like there's more of them than there really are.
So it's just for them. It's kind of like they just want to sound bigger and more important than what they actually are. No one really cares about them, so they have to kind of validate themselves?
Well, no, it's to generate more political power on their side. Think back to the Reagan era with the silent majority. Okay? We didn't scream, yell, and shout the way the liberal Democrats did, yet we were the silent ones standing back, and the silent majority got Reagan elected.
That is true. And Donald Trump as well. The silent majority got him elected, too.
Exactly so. So all this yelling and screaming that the leftists go about, atheists, whatever, it's just to make their numbers seem greater than they are.
No, that's very true. I'm just curious. I mean, did it really deter anyone from saying, you know what, they're right, I'm not going to go to church today. Was going to go sing carols today. I decided not to because the billboard told me not to because I want to make Christmas great again. Like, did that have any effect on anybody?
I would bet against that.
Yeah.
Anybody that was wanting to go to church on Christmas probably went ahead and went to church on Christmas, barring some outside unforeseen circumstance.
Yeah, well, that's very true. I agree very much, my friend. Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate the phone call very much. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. You're right. I think it's just an ego boost. Hey, we're important. We did something. We paid for money to put a billboard up to tell people not to go to church because we don't like religion because, that just is the crime of the century, and the crime of humanity is religion and the belief in some kind of being like that. I can't believe that people still do that. I'm going to tell them not to go to church. And you're right. I mean, it's kind of like the transgender thing where 0.6% of the population, I think I heard was the stat, is actually transgender, but yet now the PC-ness is that we think everybody around the corner is going to be transgender in some way, shape, or form. And if you say anything about that, then you're obviously the horrible human being because you didn't support the 0.6% of the population kind of thing. I don't know the population of atheists in the country. It's definitely not nearly as high as the Christianity, as Christians are still close to 80% of the entire population in the country. We still overwhelmingly support. And if we live in a democracy the way that they tell us that we do live in a democracy, then why do we give them any time whatsoever? Why do we give them the time of day? If we're the overwhelming vast majority as a Christian nation, regardless of denomination or whatever, I don't really care, but as a nation as a whole, Christianity close to 80% of the population, and if they say we don't live in a democracy, but if they said we do, then why don't we just utilize that and just say, hey, whatever. But I'm just curious. I mean, why spend the money on the billboard? We feel really important. We feel really good about ourselves. We're going to tell you not to go to church, and then I'm sure that deterred someone from saying, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I just won't go to church this year because the billboard told me not to because I'm trying to make Christmas great again. Whatever. It's fine. We have bigger battles to worry about. We have the battle about, the courthouses with the 10 Commandments and the nativity scenes, as opposed to like the atheist or the Satanists that try and always put up their statues and always try and take away ours and, trying to make the equality. Again, who's in the majority on that vote and on that argument, but doesn't really matter there. I don't want to bring it down. It's just kind of a dumb story. It's kind of like the whole story of the media trying to go after Trump for the whole 7-year-old girl that still put out cookies and milk for Santa, even though Donald Trump told her that Santa Claus wasn't real. And she's defying President Donald Trump, even 7-year-olds standing up against Donald Trump. Here it is, the atheists standing up against Christmas. They do it every single year. We talked about last Friday the holiday for schools, for public education, on whether it should be the Christmas holiday and the Christmas party, or whether it should be the winter holiday and the winter party, because, we need to make it very open to where you can't even have green or red plates, napkins, and cups in the school, because that could be related to Christmas because the colors are green and red. And if you even have the red colored plates, then that would be offensive to some who don't celebrate Christmas, because that's how far we've gone. But if we have an atheist that just, wants to remove everything and have nothing because we want it bland and gray and just neutral on everything, that's apparently something to be celebrated about? Tell me who's advancing and who's actually progressing and who's devolving in this. Who's devolving if we just say, you know what, everything's offensive in every way, shape, or form. Let's just make it neutral. We'll make it happy. We'll make it gray. Nothing colorful. Nothing exciting. No one can be better than anybody else. No one can be more exceptional than anybody else. No one can have better talents than anybody else. Everything should just be equal across the board so we can all be the same. Because that sounds really exciting, don't you? I mean, just think about going to a party that way. Hey, Bob. Hey, Steve. What you doing? I don't know. It's kind of like, what was it, the Jungle Book, the birds? Hey, what you want to do? I don't know what you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. And they can never make up their minds, because that would be the progressive livelihood there. That is their excitement, doing nothing and nobody talking about anything because it would be offensive in some way, shape, or form. Welcome to the world of 2018, ladies and gentlemen. 2019 is going to be a year way better. We're going to put this kind of thing at bay. We're going to bury this type of stupidity into the history books and pretend it never happened, because we've gone off the deep end and we need to bring back common sense, reality, and reason just a little bit. Got to take a break, wrapping up the show today. Your phone calls, if you want to come in, sneak in the last few minutes. We'd love to hear from you on a Wednesday here on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. Opening markets on KQAM, brought to you by Schmidt & Sons of Mount Hope and Winfield.
Mostly higher in the livestock, mostly higher in the grains and soybeans. Let's take a look at the ag futures markets. Back to work after a Christmas break. The numbers are bouncing around very actively right now. Brett Krotz at Schwieterman Incorporated has all the information. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning. Well, we're starting off just a bit firmer. We've got the December live cattle up 37 at 121.25. February up 30 at 123.07. In the feeder cattle, January up 22 at 147.60. March up 17 at 145.72. In the hog market, the February contract up 22 at 60.52. April up 2 at 67.12. Over in the grain markets, a little bit of strength there as well. March Kansas City wheat up 3 3/4 at 5.06 1/4. July up 3 1/4 at 5.29 3/4. In Chicago, the March wheat up 1 1/4 at 5.17 3/4. July up 1 penny at 5.33. March corn unchanged at 3.77 3/4. July down 1/4 cent at 3.92 1/2. January soybeans up 1 1/4 at 8.85 1/2. March up 1 1/4 at 8.98 1/4. And then March oats down 1/2 cent at 2.75 1/4. March cotton down 24 points at 72.31. February crude oil up $1.44 at 43.97. February natural gas down 2 cents. That's at 3.40. June gold making multi-month highs up 7.10 at 12.91.40. March silver up 30 cents at 15.12. We've got the March dollar index up 25 points at 96.24, and the March Dow Jones futures up 279 at 21,980. And for information on these and the other markets, please call us at Schwieterman Incorporated, 1-800-272-9131.
Genuine starts at Schmidt & Sons. This is Leroy, the tractor man from Schmidt & Sons. There's one easy way to keep your AGCO equipment productive all year. That's with genuine preventive maintenance parts from AGCO. Whether it's a combine, tractor, hay products, tillage, or planting equipment, by using genuine AGCO replacement parts, you get the promise of maximum performance and increased uptime. Did you know you can purchase the parts you need for the upcoming year and have no payments and no interest charge for 180 days with a minimum order of $1,000? With an AGCO Plus charge card, it's just that simple, and we can help you with the application. You can always use those preventive maintenance parts like oil, filters, DEF, batteries, ground engaging parts, just to name a few. This is a super program. Come to Schmidt & Sons in Winfield or Mount Hope and take advantage of the program, or find us on the web at schmittinc.com.
Just for turning on the charm with a tractor in each arm. Down at Schmidt & Sons.
If you wear eyeglasses or just getting your first pair, did you know there's an eyewear shop that has 45 years of experience? Kenton Roxy Spectacle Shop has been framing faces for over 4 decades. The Spectacle Shop has hundreds of frames, including the exciting exclusive lines of Woo, Roger, and LA Eyeworks, and the State brand made right here in the USA. Your lenses? Kenton Roxy takes seriously the quality and precision of your corrected eyesight. Be independent, take a bold step for optical freedom. Come see the difference for yourself. Visit Kenton Roxy Spectacle Shop, 306 North Rock Road, Wichita.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and in everyone's house, families were busy quickly moving about. Mamas were cooking, daddies making repairs.
Little girls vacuumed while boys swept the stairs.
Working day after day and well into the night,
making sure all was cheery, merry, and bright.
There were baubles, bangles, and Christmas tree lights.
And a star on the top reached to dizzying heights.
There was mistletoe, candy, and presents for all.
And a crackling fire warmed the room wall to wall.
Christmas soon will be here with all said and done.
And the time to relax. So get ready for fun.
Uncle Charlie will soon be ringing the bell.
And Aunt Jane will be here with stories to tell.
And with thanks to our friends for all of your tips
that all through the year helped clean up and fix.
On the House listeners settled down with delight
for the best Christmas ever and a most special night. Happy holidays, everybody! Ho, ho, ho! And soon, happy Hanukkah, too.
For more cheer, visit our website at onthehouse.com.
Are you struggling to get in and out of the tub? Are you worried about falling? You need an American Standard walk-in bath with over 20 comfort and safety features, including an ultra-low entryway, slip-resistant floor, built-in sturdy seat, and 44 massaging air and water jets. Visit AmericanStandardDreamBath.com today for your free in-home estimate. And for a limited time, get $1,500 in savings, which includes a free American Standard right height toilet. That's AmericanStandardDreamBath.com.
This is Alex Jones. Join me Sunday evenings, 5 to 7, right here on the Big Talker, KQAM, Wichita.
Six minutes at the top of the hour, wrapping up the program today. It's gone by way too fast. We will spend some time tomorrow for some state politics. I know you're still in holiday mode. Try to keep it a little bit fun and light today. But if you are still in holiday mode, hopefully you were environmentally sound over the holiday. You know, didn't eat too much meat because that's bad for the environment and for the animals, according to PETA and the EPA. Hopefully you didn't drive too far, even though we have record low gas prices and travel was higher than anybody expected. Record travel for years because gas prices were so low. But hopefully you didn't drive because that would harm the environment. Didn't use any plastics or anything like that. There is a movement right now about how, you know, of course, the pollution in the waters by plastic bags and plastic things, which is a terrible thing. I mean, yeah, we definitely need to clean those up. They did a study, though, and scientists have analyzed data on plastic from 79 sampling sites along different 57 rivers in the world. The results showed that 95% of plastic polluting in the world's oceans come from 10 rivers. 10 rivers. 95% of plastic pollution, and all 10 of those are in Africa, India, and Asia, including the Chinese area down below to the Vietnamese area, down to India, to there, and then to in Africa as well. So not even close to the United States. But we are the problem. Remember, we are the issue with pollution. We're the issue with environmentalism. We're the issue where we use more energy than anywhere else in the world. Even though we're more efficient with our energy, we use more energy. We need to probably be paying more for the United Nations and their whole climate thing. So think about that as you're celebrating the holidays. You're enjoying. Maybe you got a whole bunch of goodies. All your kids got maybe the plastic toys. And as you're eating all the meat, or you're driving to go visit family, and you're doing all these wonderful things, think about that. You're probably that reason that the world is polluted, because you probably live in Asia or in India or in Africa, where you're probably near one of those 10 most ridiculous rivers with the 95% of plastic polluting. It's unbelievable how they can get away with telling us we're the problem when we're not the problem. Yes, we use a lot of energy, but we're efficient with our energy use. We're smart. We have technology. Not thanks to the government, but thanks to the private sector making our stuff efficient, making sure that when we charge our phone, it charges quickly and lasts longer. When we drive our cars, that we do have high gas mileage, not because of the government telling us to do so, but because that's what people want, and it's cheaper at the pump if we choose to do that. But maybe we should listen to Al Gore. What do you think? We could listen to Al Gore with his private jet, flying around the world, telling us that we're actually terrible and we've done bad things to the environment. Maybe we should listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger, that says that if he were Terminator, he would go back in time and stop the first person that used fossil fuels, even though he buys his own tank and drives his own tank. Maybe we should kind of live in that realm. What do you think? We could do that. Yeah. 316-721-8255. It is unbelievable how they get away with lying to us each and every day, but that's the way that the world works, because that's what they like to do. They get away with it because no one questions them or tells them otherwise on the national front, and that's what we're here to do. Exposing the craziness. As 8 of these rivers in Asia, targeting these rivers could have halted the amount of plastic waste, experts predict, in the oceans, as we talk about the pollution of the oceans. And you see the terrible stories of, like the animal with like the plastic rings around their throats, and they've morphed and molded their way because they've tried to grow with things around them, and it cuts off circulation. They start losing limbs, and all these horrible stories. It is devastating to hear that. Let's fix it. Maybe we could industrialize other nations that are struggling with their industrialization. Maybe we could get them up to 21st century styles here with technology, and then we could actually utilize what we can, make things more efficient, clean up some of the waste, not use so much plastic, and then we can actually have recyclable stuff as well. Craziness. I know. Now we're sounding like conservationists. Something to think about. Coming up on the show tomorrow, we have a great lineup for you as usual. We are wrapping up the week. I know it's crazy to hear, but being a Thursday, we have some statewide politics that I didn't get to today. According to the Associated Press, new Kansas governor's budget repairs may fire GOP opposition. Shocker. She wants to overhaul the whole system because we're on skeleton crews. Remember that. We'll talk about that tomorrow, plus your phone calls as well. Great guest, Phil Martinez of Phil's Coins. It's the last Thursday of the month, which means he'll be in talking about his holidays and what's going on over at Phil's Coins. Maybe a great way to start off your 2019 season is collecting things that won't lose value. We'll do that and more on the show tomorrow. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is The Voice of Reason, everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
At Starseed, we realize every farmer and rancher has a passion for conservation, which is why we offer conservation seeds. This season, let Starseed assist with your CRP, buffers, waterways, roadside projects, and any wildlife project you have in mind. Starseed works closely with landowners, dealers, and government agencies to ensure the best quality seed for all of your conservation needs. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at GoStarseed.com.
Riverside Cafe is more than just great comfort foods. Riverside Cafe has amazing fresh salads, daily hand-breaded fresh catfish, and chicken strips. Burgers. Burger. The best in the business, and even veggie burgers for the healthy eaters. Riverside Cafe, breakfast all day, every day, daily specials, homemade hand-cut fries, fried chicken Fridays, and kids eat free Monday through Friday when each child accompanies a paying adult. Riverside Cafe, open till 8 Monday through Saturday, open till 2 Sunday afternoons, 2 Wichita locations, and 824 North Baltimore in Derby.
This is a Steckline Communication Station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Continental Truck Accessories, 6701 South Broadway. Show your truck some love with Continental Truck Accessories.
Good Wednesday. A woman in critical condition after a rollover accident in northwest Sedgwick County. At around 3:15 yesterday afternoon, sheriff's officers say an 18